just needs to be moved over. One 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 just needs to be moved over. Let's mute Twitch before somebody has a headache from that. And then after that, we will come over to YouTube and hear what it sounds like. One just needs to be moved over. Let's mute Twitch before somebody has a headache from that. Alright. Okay, it looks like we're good. I got them both up and going. Get rid of this. Refresh this. It's weird, it's like not showing a lot. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. I think I'm ready to go here. Alright. I think everything is good to go over there and we are ready to go. Alright, so it's still bouncing. Okay, stop bouncing. Okay. Alright. What's up, guys? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of The Darkest Dungeon. So, the last time we were here, we just went through and grinded some missions. There wasn't any, like, overarching, unifying theme. That's kind of part of the game of this. After a while you play, you eventually get to the point where you just have to kind of grind through and just get some levels and get your guys ready to go to the next tier. So, before I really get into this, I just want to say really quickly, if you like content that's like more short form, more edited, highly edited, has a lot of the content like streamlined, just highlights, things of that nature, head over to the Blue Titan Space Gaming to see that content. And if you'd like to see more long form content where I talk quite a bit, I just uneditedly kind of wax rhetorical about whatever nonsense, I just start getting on here and start talking about whatever it seems like, you can head over to the Blue Titan Space Gaming Space VODs, where my unedited long form thoughts and just streaming mind kind of go wild. So but yeah, that's gonna be it for, I guess, my early spiel, and I'm just gonna get into the game. So like I said, last time we were here, we ended things by going in and buying this occultist. He's the only new pickup on the team. I'm kind of excited about him, being honest. You can tell I like quirks. He has Luminous and Beast Slayer, and those are very strong. Those are like high amounts of additional damage that the character incidentally will get, will gain over the course of the game. So that's a nice pickup. Once you get to like the mid game, and I'd consider like that's weird, kind of like at the very cusp of the mid game, measured of course by the kinds of enemies you're fighting against most commonly, right? We are now starting to kind of straddle into the mid game, because the enemies that we're fighting out on the main map are oftentimes orange, or I guess they're oftentimes green, starting to be orange, right? So we're just getting ready to jump over that. We've now seen our last, I'm guessing, last green boss appear, and our very first red or orange boss appear, right? So that tells you that we're kind of just now starting what would be the mid game, whereas that late game, of course, would be red. So we're not quite there yet. So we're going to be here soon fighting off this final boss here, this final green boss, though I'm not going to do it this week in game time reference, right? In the game, I say this week. I'm not going to do that right away, because this option, this item that he would loot, or he would give us, the Berserk Mask, we've already got one. We don't need a second copy of this under any circumstances. So I'm going to be ignoring this mission for this week and finding something else better to do. And at the very end of last week, the last thing that we did was we talked about, again, when I say last week, I mean the last episode, the last week of gameplay in real life. Yesterday we played, actually. The last thing we did was we covered this item, and I said that the bullseye bandana is probably the only item in this group that I'm impressed by. Though to be completely honest, after reevaluating this a little bit, there's a few things that are making me not like this mission. I don't like that it's a veteran level mission for a rare item that, by my estimation, is solid but not incredible. It's solid. I would still use it if I had a arbalist on my team. You know, I would roll with this item. It's solid. The problem I have with this item really is that it requires me to go do a medium-length veteran mission to gather it, and it's got like busts, and I don't really care. I mean, busts are fine. I guess it is the least thing I have the least of, but I'm not really super excited about this mission, like in terms of the item. The item is not super exciting, although to be completely honest, this item is about as good as the focus ring, specific to her class. It might actually be better than the focus ring. This might be better than the focus ring. The focus ring gives 10. This is a very rare item, but it's very rare because it's generically good, right? It always fits on every class. This item can only be on the arbalist, but for that class might be better, right? Because this gives 10 accuracy and plus 5% crit. This gives 8 accuracy and 5% crit, but this removes 8 dodge, and this only removes 4. I think these are pound for pound probably about the same power level. They're not that different. That's interesting. Huh. I guess that kind of makes me reevaluate the item a little bit more, considering that I think that the focus ring is so strong. It also shows you how the blinders come on. Like, once you know an item is good, then you've kind of like accepted that it's just good. And then if another item shows up and you've never really used it that much, your brain is like, oh, it's probably not that good because I don't know what it is or I've never used it before. But the reality is, it actually is not too far off statistics-wise from the other item. I will say I did, to my credit, say that I thought the item was solid. I think it's the best item in the group. I just never really thought about comparing it directly to the focus ring, which is now in retrospect is an obvious comparison. It literally alters the exact same stats in almost the same identical way. It is funny though that it's only a rare, but it makes sense because it doesn't affect every single person. It doesn't work for every class. That's interesting. But yeah, looking at the other items, like this is an item that requires the torch to be low. We don't really care about that. I mean, acquiring these occasionally is fine, but like I'm not excited to acquire these because I'm not doing a torchless fight or anything like that right now. I'm not playing the game without torches. We talked about the Coven Signet. I think it's mediocre at best. The Bloodthirst Ring, again, is also kind of a gimmicky whatever item. The Longevity Eye Patch is not bad. Plus 15% max HP. It's fine. On the old Man-at-Arms, it's fine, but we've already got items that do that better, right? I don't think I would ever use this item at this stage, right? This one gives plus 15% max HP and minus 2 speed. I can already give him the Tough Ring, which gives him plus 15% max HP, lowers his damage, but it also increases his protection. It kind of really leans into what you're doing with that class most of the time. And then if the argument is, well, why don't you just run them both together? The answer is because I can also give him Barristan's Head, which even pushes his protection even further. Or if I'm really not looking for additional protection at that stage, because 10% is already a decent amount. I mean, it's not an incredible amount. 25% is obviously way better. There's an argument to be made that maybe instead of this item on the Man-at-Arms, I would probably give him something that increased his resistance to bleed and blight, right? Because he's already got protection and all that. I don't know. But I guess it's not always one size fits all. Like if I have the Plague Doctor with us, then I have the ability to stop bleed and blight, and then at that point I can just lean heavy into protection and then just make him an insurmountable wall that cannot be bled nor broken. That actually sounds pretty cool. Cannot be bled nor broken. Anyway, I think what I'm gonna do though is I think do this mission. It's not begrudgingly, it's just not excitedly. It's a solid item, and I think it will probably get use for the rest of the game, at least in the mid-game. I'll probably use it forever, so maybe I should sing it a little bit more praises. It probably is a solid enough item to be a little excited about, but... I mean, who dives into a dungeon to go find a bandana, though? I mean, I could see going in there to go find some golden berserker mask. This seems pretty epic, but I don't know about this. Hey, look, I'm gonna go after a cloth. Alright. So, I think this is the mission we're going to do. Now, we're just going to take a quick look at the team. We already have looked at the items. We've already looked at the recruiting. The only thing we haven't really done is looked at what we have in terms of our busts, portraits, things of that nature, things we can spin things on. And we really should do that because we have a lot now. One thing we want to make sure of, we are not spending any portraits because our goal was to reach 50 portraits and 15,000 gold. You can't really see the gold because my portrait blocks it there. I guess I could move it for a second. Never really done this, but I could do it real quick. Move my portrait a little bit here for just a moment. There, you can see it. You can see I have 11,700 gold there. I'm trying to reach 15,000 because then in the blueprint section, we will be able to acquire the bank. If we buy the bank, which we've already got the hard part, which is the portraits, but we just don't have the money now, then we will be able to gain interest forever. And that might be worth spending our focus on this, tonight or whatever. Just grind some levels in order to be able to start earning some money every week. Get some cash back rewards, as it were. I think that it's really just interest, right? You're not gaining anything for spending. You're only gaining money for having money stored. So just interest. 5% interest is an absurd amount. So on just savings, if you know of a savings rate in a bank that gives 5% back, let me know. All right. Yeah, we've already looked at everything here. I don't need to do all that. I'm not spending any money on locking quirks, not until I get money to buy the bank. Then I'll be okay with spending money for that, but I want to get over that hump first. And then we'll see how much easier it is to be able to actually save money when we're actually able to make percentage on what we have. All right, let's go ahead and just take off in this mission real quick. And this will also kind of lean into what we were talking about here. We'll be able to gain some money off of this. We're not going to be able to get a lot in the way of, like, Well, this does kind of change what I'm thinking again, though. Because we're walking out with 3 grain sacks. That's less slots in order to hold items that we'll be able to walk away with, which really sucks. But I guess at the same time, the question is, like, is anything else even worth it? And I don't think so. The Silence in the Crypts is cool, but, like, are we really going to fight the boss? If we beat this mission, if we beat the ruins and then it goes to level 4, and then a boss appears, are we going to immediately jump in and fight a tier 3 boss? Do we even have the capacity to do that? The reason I'm thinking about this mission is, again, it had the longevity eye patch. It's the only other item that, by my estimation, I'm even remotely interested in. But we don't even have the guys to really do that right now. I'm saying at the tier 3, not the tier 1. The tier 1 would be trivial. We could just bring in a group of 4 random warm bodies and be fine. The question is, who would we bring to go in there at we need level 4 guys. I'd like to have level 4 to fight bosses, so we really need to get that group up first. Yeah, let's go do this mission and level up some of our other level 3 guys here. And if that's the case, I'm going to bring some people who can bleed, because this place is very susceptible to bleed, as we've learned. Wow. A lot of my level 3 guys are out of commission. Guys that would be good here. I mean... Oh, that's because last time we got rocked and we had to dodge the mission because we had a really long C-shaped map. And we went one direction and came back, and by the time we got back, we'd already been hunger checked 3 times, and we had a full inventory of gold. Like, it was such a strange situation. I was like, okay, this is a great mission to go do, but we just couldn't get through it because we ended up with so many random items and that were good. Like I think we had 5 or 6 stacks of gold before we even got 40% of the way through the mission. Literally, I think before we even got through 4 out of the 10 or so rooms. Or maybe like 6 out of the 15 rooms, whatever. Alright, I think here... Wow. I don't have a backline if I do go do this mission. I literally have like no backline. That's a problem. This is a medium mission? Huh. Now that might shift our focus here. We might actually have to go do a lower tier mission, just because we don't actually have the capacity to do elsewise. And it could be, you could make the argument that maybe this is a good time to just go do the boss then. But again, the Berserk Mask is just not something I'm really interested in right now. And I don't want to do Silence and Crypts because if I do that, then I'm locked in to like wanting to do this other mission the next week. I mean, I don't have to, but... Oh god, you have the courtyard active. Why would you do that to yourself? Would you like to know a little known Darkest Dungeon Easter egg? It's not a spoiler. Hey guys, yeah, I mean, I just don't want to have anything overall spoiled. Yeah, I mean, I like the game a lot, so I don't want to have that spoiled. But yeah, no, I had all the content. This is something that I started this game 10 years ago, and I never finished it. I played like, I don't know, 10 hours or so, and then I kind of got off the rails. I kind of went and did something else. You know how life is. And then at some point, I was sitting here thinking to myself, I kind of want to get back into streaming. I used to be a teacher, and I had some students of mine that like had been asking me to stream so they could watch me, just to kind of stay connected and stuff, you know, because I'm no longer a teacher. And I decided to try this game because I know I always liked it, and it was always on my list to do it. And so yeah, now I'm kind of back at it, and I'm doing it's going okay. But I wanted to have all the content in here. I know the Crimson Courtyard is a wild animal of an additional DLC. It can add a lot of things, but I've been kind of learning more about it and how the whole system works, and I honestly think in some ways it can sometimes be a buff. If you have the ability to use the blood correctly, you can actually give your guys like damage steroids. So here it is. Prepare yourself. There are monsters in the dungeons, and they'll try to kill you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I honestly was expecting some kind of like oh yeah, if you fight a certain boss or go do a certain thing, maybe a certain character will say a thing from another video game or some other thing like that. But yeah, I've actually had I've had a really good time with this so far, and it's one of those games where you can kind of find yourself sitting down and being like, I'm gonna play this for like an hour, and then all of a sudden 3.5 hours later you're just like, dude, what happened to my afternoon? Like, what happened to my evening? So I can give points without spoiling anything major. The one thing I want to make sure that I do is anything that's related to like general like ways of playing the game to make yourself like more efficient or anything like that. I would say like don't say anything to me if you can avoid it that it's going to give away something that I would naturally find on accident. Like as an example, I've been playing through, if you don't mind, please. I can't stop you, you know, you have free will. But I've been playing through and redoing some of the things that I used to do in the past and had failed and learned to do. Like, I could go look up, I know there's like a website called Darkest Companion, and there's a few other places you can go to kind of get help, to kind of get information, but I try to avoid those as much as possible, unless the circumstance arises like I've already fought the boss, and I just forgot what the boss's resistances were. And it's like, okay, well, technically I already know that because I fought against it, but I'm not going to look it up ahead of time, if that makes any sense, right? As far as interactions and curios go, that's something I was going to say. Like, so I'm intentionally avoiding looking that up, and I'm just bringing items and then throwing random items at it to, like, list it myself. So a lot of the curios, I think we've unlocked most of the useful stuff by just kind of throwing stuff and guessing. But yeah, like, I'm not super bothered about it. I think one person has spoiled one of them for me, and I was in a really desperate situation, so it wasn't such a big deal to me. I was like, oh, thank you. You know, I probably would have guessed, honestly, because I only had 2 items to throw at it, so... Let's suffer a little bit with dumb decisions. I've been having a lot of fun with this, honestly. Like, just going, like, I had a mission where I was going to go try to beat a boss. It was in the cove, and there was this round-shaped, like, tombstone-looking thing, and I thought, okay, you know, whatever. It looks giant in stone. It kind of looks like a tombstone. I'll try to dig it up like I would in the Weald where there's like tombstones. And I hit it, and it gave us, I think, 70 stress. Sent somebody over the edge, and it ended up wiping 2 of my guys because we had like it was awful, but it was hilarious. So, all right. So I think, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick a mission here. I'm not really super excited about any one particular mission in this list because what I have here, I've already got quite a few decent items. And I'm not really at a stage in the game where I think I need to, like, pick a mission specifically because of an item. But in terms of just raw value out of all of these that I'm seeing, just by my estimation, the only item that I'm even remotely interested in, as I said, I think the Candle of Life is a joke of an item, my god. Unless somebody else thinks otherwise, this item just looks terrible. But the only item in this list that I like is the Bullseye Bandana. Bearing in mind that we already have the Berserk Mask. This item is incredible, but I don't need it. I already have it. So the Bullseye Bandana is the only item on this list I think is even worth talking about, considering it's basically just a baby version of the Focus Ring. And honestly, by my quick math here, it's basically the same tier. Like, it does the same thing, it's just more specific, right? Because it only works for the Arbalist. But 10 accuracy, 8 accuracy, 5% crit, 5% crit. Minus 8 dodge, minus only 4 dodge. Again, 4 dodge is a drop in the bucket, but so is 2 accuracy. These are basically the same item. You know, and it'd be nice to have an extra one of these. This is like a guaranteed lock item on the Arbalist for a while, and I would guess probably through at least the mid-game is my guess. Let me see that ancestral wait, so yeah, let me see that ancestral trinket. Couldn't take a good look. Oh, you're saying, okay, yeah, so the ancestral trinket is all right. I actually have another one, but we lost it earlier, so I have to, at some point, I'm gonna have to go fight against the Shrieker. I know what the Shrieker is. I remember that from a previous playthrough, but we just haven't had it pop up yet, which is odd because I know I've lost more than 8 people, and I know I've lost more than 8 items. I guess 4 people and lost at least 8 items. So maybe it's like the Shrieker only appears after a certain week. We looked at that last week. I kind of tried to look it up, but I couldn't find any information that made it obvious. I know there's like a rare Shrieker event that will trigger after week 42. I saw that in the wiki. I don't just have that in my brain. But I haven't seen the Shrieker appear and give the option to go recover your items, despite the fact that I've lost a decent amount of people. It's just kind of wild. So, yeah, it does suck that I lost it. But it was the Ancestor's Candle, which is a solid item. But, I mean, not a huge thing, because, you know, you can always reacquire it. Oh, before I jump in, I said that one of the things I was going to do is spin some of my crests and spin some of these other things. We want to save the portraits, because I want to make sure that I save that for the bank. Once I get to 15,000 gold, I'm going to buy that bank real fast and snappy. That way I can not trivialize the money minigame, but kind of make it less of a concern. Then I can focus on gathering a little bit of other resources and kind of just keep a $10,000 amount of money in my inventory and then just slowly accrue money off of that. Looking at these other things, I think what I'll probably spend the money on, I could do the Survivalist. I haven't really put much. I've upgraded, I think, the first 2 tiers. I feel like the Survivalist is one of those things that you don't really upgrade until later. I mean, it's just like, most of the time, the missions that you're doing are usually going to be like short missions anyways. You do some mediums and then occasional long, but like the opportunity cost for all of these 54 crests, I think it'd be better spent if I came over here and spent it on something like the Blacksmith, which I have been kind of doing here. At least you have one of my favorite trinkets for the Jester. The tambourine is so good. That's what I was saying. I was trying to explain that to somebody in one of the videos. They were like, well, I think the dark tambourine's probably better, right? And I said, I don't think that just because it's more rare makes it better. I mean, and I'm not knocking the dark tambourine. It wasn't really an analysis of that item in a vacuum. I was really saying that the bright tambourine, don't discount it, because as a stress healer, I don't think there's a character in the game that even comes anywhere near as close to the raw stress relief that the Jester does. The Jester can not only use his little loot that I affectionately don't call it like the Jester's loot. I usually call it the clown banjo. His little clown banjo is so good at removing stress compared to every other ability in the game. The only other ability in the game that I can think of that even comes close, is to support your team, not on your single individual self. Like removing stress from yourself, like Lashes, Lashes Kiss or Lashes whatever, that's removing 50, but that's also a camping skill on the Flagellant. But the Houndmaster, his little howl, but it's not reliable, right? And it has like a 50% chance it will hit people. Now, if it lands on every single person, or maybe two out of every... If it lands on 50% of the time, maybe it's as good, but again, you can't control it. Right, and that's the problem, because it often seems it's confirmation bias in this case. It's real easy to see a person get the stress relief that you didn't necessarily need it removed from, and then the person who really needed it doesn't get it removed, and then you're like, man. You said the Crusader is a stress healer, underrated. Oh yeah. I did use him to a lot of success using his Inspiring Cry. So as you can tell, I know exactly where the ability is. I've used it quite a bit. So I do think that the Inspiring Cry is pretty good there. I think he is underrated because most of the time whenever you play this class, your thinking is more of him as a stun bot frontline tank. But I mean, I don't really like Battle Heal. It's pretty mediocre. But I do think Inspiring Cry is pretty sick. Like healing 4 to 5, healing 1 to 2, but removing 7 stress, and then randomly encouraging the torch. I do believe Inspiring Cry is, honestly, besides Stunning Blow, which is pretty boring but efficient, besides Stunning Blow, which is probably my favorite ability he has, I really do like Inspiring Cry. I'd say after that I really like Holy Lance. Holy Lance is insane. I mean, just the ability for this character, like a tankier class, to move himself up whenever he gets pushed back. I love that. Yeah, so from here, I mean, I have a few choices. Again, I could take armor smithing. That's probably, that's probably what I should be taking here, but I'd like to knock out the next tier of cost reduction before I upgrade these. So we're going to do this first. And then after that, I'm going to save my crests, and instead of spending it on the, survivalist, I'm just going to try to knock out armor smithing level 4 and get us up to the next tier. I just don't really care so much about the costs or using the survivalist stuff right now. It just doesn't matter to me as much, I don't think. I haven't had as much need for it, and I'm going to start needing it more, right? Once I have all these other skills unlocked and stuff, I can see myself using these longer missions a little bit more often. You say, is there any interest in trying some mods? There's really some good ones out there. Yeah, no, I love mods. I mean, let me actually back up here. I love mods, but I'm going to finish this game first without mods, and that was kind of my promise. I was gonna play through the whole game and kind of showcase the game, because I have a few buddies who years ago I was trying to get to play this game, and they'd never heard of it, and they were like, you know how people are most of the time. They're like, I don't want to try anything I don't already understand, because, well, one, it's wasting money. If you don't like the game, why do it? But then I realized, well, a lot of these friends, they take my advice on a game and then they end up liking it, but how do I get them to try this one? Because for some odd reason they just feel like it's some forgotten indie game. I'm like, no, dude, it's a really good game. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and try making some videos over the games that I like. And I started my first video on YouTube, which I have a YouTube channel if you want to see that. My first video I did was Bolitro, and that was because of a friend that was trying to get me to try the game. And I was like, you know what? It's a roguelike. I like those styles of games in general, and I'm trying to start my own channel again because I haven't done anything with it in a little while, or haven't thought about it in a little while. Let's do that. And then I did that, and then I went back and I said, you know what? I'm going to play games that I know I like, that I've always wanted to make a video series over, that I've always tried to get my friends to try that they've never tried. And so I started with Bolitro, but then after that, I made a video series over the Stanley Parable, which is wildly different than this, of course. Just a cult classic. And then after that, I decided to try this game as my next one. And I don't really have like a set path that I'm going on. All I can say is that I know for sure the games that I play, or I find myself gravitating towards, are usually games that are there's a beginning, middle, and end. There's not, like, I don't really like games like Battlefield or like I mean, shooters are fine. That's not what I mean. But I mean, I like games where, like, you start the game, you learn the mechanics, you play it, eventually you mature in the game, you get better, and then you finish it, and then you move on to another series. Whereas a game like, a Battlefield or any other kind of a games as a service kind of experience, you could play that game indefinitely. And I don't want my channel to become like, a Battlefield game, or like an Apex Legends game, or like a League of Legends game, or like a, pick your poison. I don't want my entire channel to just be one style of game. And I find myself, when I play this kind of games, it's very easy to fall into them and only play those for a long time. So I've been intentionally choosing smaller titles to start. So yeah, the Stanley Parable. Yeah, a great game. I did fall out of it. I had one last episode to do because I had gotten to the point where I had radiantly ran out and just randomly found a lot of random endings. But at some point, of course, after I had played quite a few hours and I was running into the same missions or endings over and over again, I decided to find this. Like, I looked online for a flowchart, found one on Reddit, and was going through that and trying to exhaust them by the list. And I did all but I think 3 endings, 2 of which I could have done in my last episode, 1 of which I was not going to do, which is the one where you have to, like, I guess, wait for like 4 hours and just sit in a room and click a button for 4 hours or something absurd, where a baby's crying in the fire or something. I was like, I'm good. I mean, it's funny, but no, I'm good. But I think what I'm going to do moving forward is just pick a game and kind of play it. I think there's some games that I want to play. Like, if I had infinite time, I would love to go back, wipe my save files, and start the game faster than light again, which is one of my favorite games ever. It's like an old indie, like 2012, like space game that kind of inspired. It's a roguelike that's like kind of in a way inspired. I would say games like Stellaris. Without a doubt, Stellaris was inspired partially by it. So. Yeah, FTL, yeah, bro. Yeah, I love FTL. That's one of my favorite games ever. Like 10 years ago, I had some friends who like saw me play. They're like, "What is this?" It kind of looks like, I don't know, like it looks like some like 1970s like retro ColecoVision nonsense or whatever. And I said, I understand that, but once you play it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I like games where it's more about thinking and less about fast twitch muscles. And maybe that's being an older guy now. Like when I was 16, I loved Halo, I loved Gears of War, I could play the hell out of those games, but I'm just not interested in those as much anymore, because those games are more about dominating your opponent by being faster. And nowadays, like, I'm just not really into those style games as much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, sliding and a little bit of Call of Duty and like sliding and killing a few guys. It's kind of funny when that kind of stuff happens, but I just don't get the same appreciation for the game. And games like Faster Than Light and games like Darkest Dungeon, when I'm not playing them, I think about them. And I don't mean I just, like, the same way a person that gets addicted to something, it flashes in their eyes. I mean, I strategize, and it turns my brain on, like in the same way like other games. Like when I first started back in the day, I mentioned League of Legends. When I first started playing League of Legends, I loved it back when the game first started, because nobody was playing it. Well, it was just starting, and there wasn't a meta yet. People were still using crap websites like Mobifire and making fun of those websites and all this other stuff. And people were like, you could like really develop an off-the-rails weird, unexplored build. You could do weird stuff nobody had expected, and it would work because the game was so unbalanced and wild westy, right? But now the game is like a lot more on the rails, and it's like you have to play a support in this lane with this item, and it's like the magic's gone. It's like, it's a borrowed term from like Magic the Gathering. I would say it's kind of similar to how you would say I'm like a Johnny, like Timmy. And if you don't know what that means, what I mean is, like, I'd say I'm more of a Johnny than Timmy, but like basically I enjoy like putting my own personal spin on something and trying out and kind of like figuring it out like a puzzle. I'm not as excited by like iterating over it and breaking it and then staying in it and then just being the best at the most efficient build, right? Like, I'm not the guy who's going to grind a diamond or whatever. I mean, I think I ended that game like somewhere in platinum, and I did that specifically because I wanted a skin once. But whatever. But that's way off task. I'm reading your comments here, and it's getting me kind of a gotta play that back in the day. Yeah, found your YouTube. You got a sub, I'll check it later. Ever tried Frostpunk? 2 comments. One, I will say, my YouTube, I have 2 YouTube channels. And this matters a lot to me because I'm intentionally trying to bifurcate my focus. I've got one called The Blue Titan Space Gaming, and then I've got one called The Blue Titan Space Gaming Space VODs. And you can tell which one you're on because the icon, one will say gaming at the bottom, the other one will say VODs. I'm doing 2 of them. One of them is like this one, like what I'm recording right now. This won't make it into the cut. Right, it won't make it into the the higher, more efficient, like highlight reel stuff. That's going to be the Blue Titan Gaming. That's how I've kind of identified how I want to build my brand, as it were. That's how it seems so weird to say. When I first started, it was just one channel. Everything was getting uploaded to there. And then I realized, well, that's destroying discoverability. People don't find the channel as easily whenever I upload a video that's 3 hours long and they watch for 2 minutes. It destroys, like, you know, your watch time. So, well, begrudgingly, then I guess what I'll do is I'll create like a viewership funnel. And so the Blue Titan Space Gaming, or the View channel, the Blue Titan Gaming is my channel where I put highly edited content that's focused on like getting people excited about the content. And then the Blue Titan Space Gaming Space VODs, that's the one where I'll be on here right now slapping myself in the face and stuttering over myself. It's just me being me and not really worrying about it. It's like, you know, before I edit stuff. So that's where I'm at. But anyways, have I ever tried Frostpunk? Okay, a few things. First off, it's in, I either own it or it's in my list of, I think one of my students bought it for me around Christmas time and sent it to me, you know, whatever. He was like, oh yeah, I think you'd like this game. And I was like, dude, I've got a few buddies that think it's funny to buy me games on my Steam list. Well, they just buy me games on Steam because they think it's funny. Because like I've been irritated for the last like 5-6 years. You know how everybody has infinite games in their Steam list. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a concerted effort to walk through these games and try to do some of them, and instead of buying new games. And so I have a few buddies that literally will buy me games just to troll me, just because they think it's funny to see my list grow while I'm trying to, like, you know, they're throwing dirt in the hole while I'm digging it out. Anyway, so one of my students did that same thing. No, he did it unintentionally. He just thought I'd like the game. And I was like, yeah, no, Frostpunk it's been on my list for a while. It is a game I want to play. Dang it. You know, and he added that and a few other random games. Like the, what's that game called again? Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic made this, this offshoot game that's like an RTS style isometric top-down, where like you control the guys from the sky. And he gave me that too, and he's like, yeah, I think you'd like this. I know you like those isometric style games, because I grew up on Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, all that stuff, which is obviously where I played before League of Legends was around. I played Dota. When I say Dota, I don't mean Dota 2. I mean Dota the mod, like back on I played the old Pudge, like the old characters way back in the day. I also played Legion TD and all these old games that people have forgotten about. But anyway, that's fine. But what I was going to say is, yes, Frostpunk is on my list. I'd love to play that. So, so you said here, actually, I probably do the same thing. Yeah, I just, it's frustrating because I love all of these different games and I want to try them all, but I just don't have enough time. And then you also have that tendency to like fall back and want to play a game you already love, right? Like, you're like, all right, I could play this other new game, or I could get my buddies together and we could all just go play 2 straight weeks of, you know, and I say 2 straight weeks, I don't mean in game, I mean 2 straight weeks of no lifing it in real life, and just go play like 7 Days to Die and mod the hell out of it and play, you know, whatever, Darkness Falls or some other thing like that, and just go hard on that. So yeah, I don't have the patience because you're an old man. Yeah, that's actually one of the funniest parts about it. It's like, now I have the money, and now, I mean, I'm also not married, don't have a wife or kids or anything like that, so I have the time. But a lot of times the afternoon comes, I'm like, dude, I don't want to play sometimes. So I've been intentionally being like, no, this YouTube thing, and being held accountable by some of my students who watch, and just like the upload schedule I've kind of tried to create for myself, it's forcing me to actually be productive to some degree, which is in the long term going to be a good thing, because it's going to make me happy, because I'm going to be able to explore the games. Like this game, it nails so many things about my personality. It's crazy. I love grimdark. I love the kind of ancient Victorian kind of like dark, grim kind of feel thing. So this kind of nails both those. I like the Bloodborne kind of aesthetic. That's like a deeper dig, right? I'm not saying Dark Souls in aggregate. I like Dark Souls, but the Bloodborne aesthetic, I really love that. Or like the World of Glass or whatever in Dark Souls 1, when you're in Honor Londo and you jump through the portrait. That kind of like it's like the World of Glass, or like something like, I can't remember its name. The painted world or something like that. But I love that kind of aesthetic. And this game has like a dark feel to it. Like it takes itself intentionally seriously. It's unapologetically serious, and takes its own lore seriously. It's not corny. It doesn't it's not irreverent to its own lore. And I think a lot of games do that nowadays. They're like, hey guys, I'm trying to be serious, but you know, I understand we're just a game. I'm like, no, I like the serious lore. Like I liked what Magic the Gathering used to be before it started doing Universes Beyond. I like grim dark things, like, you know, I've never played 40K, but I've read a little of the lore. Love it. I love that kind of stuff. So I just like the kind of games that can make you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. I thought you were gonna say teabagging. Banging your head against the wall. No, I feel the same way, because there is anything worth having comes with struggle. That's it. Like, if I can get on your game and I can beat it in 2 days, if I just play it an efficient way, or if I can beat it by paying a bunch of money, it's a waste of my time, right? I don't care. It's not interesting. I would much rather get knocked down and be like, ugh, put the controller down, get angry, leave, go on a walk, go work for a day, and come back home and be like, all right, dude, all right. But that's like me having grown up. Like, I grew up, I grew up playing a lot of Nintendo. I don't know if you can see this, but like, I played a lot of this stuff, right? Like, I mean, just the other day bought an old Nintendo game. Like, I like the old Nintendo hard games. I just do. It's just who I am. So, oh, don't worry about your spelling, buddy. It's okay. You're just communicating. You're doing just fine. Doing a great job of communicating. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get into a mission because you got me off task here, Jen. Or it looks like, yeah, you got me off task a little bit here, Jen. I appreciate the conversation, and I'm playfully joking with you. There's no downside at all. I love the communication. That's a lot of fun. That's why I do this. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun talking to people in the chat, whether they be new people, whether they be, bots. I've had a few situations where I start to talk and I'm like, oh, that's a bot. I'm like, that's awkward. But that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into a mission, like I said. So I think the choice is either to go in here and fight the Insolent Flesh, which I would like to do, but I don't know if we actually have the capacity to do it. If I do this, I'm probably going to do some weird crap where I bring... Well, you can only bring one flagellant. That's right. I forgot about that. That's one of their things. I was actually thinking about bringing 2. Just because the bleed effect that they put on is absurd. If I do bring him, though, I'd rather bring the one that can use Rain of Sorrows. Not to say I can't just buy this ability, but why spend the money if I don't have to? If I was going to do this, I'm going to bring him. I don't want to do that. I'm going to get the Zerk Mask, which I already have, and my guys are only level 1. I'm not going to do that. I've already talked about why I don't want to do that. Let's just go do a mission where my guys are like level 3 and they can actually, handle themselves. I could just bring... Look how many... I have 3 level 3 Crusaders. It's like I like the Crusader or something. That's actually funny because he's an okay class. He's not my favorite, but like he's just never died. I've lost other characters, but I've never lost my Crusaders, it seems like. I still have the original Crusader that you get when you start the game, Reynold, whatever it is. Yeah, I still have Reynold. Dismas died a long time ago. He's the highwayman you start with, but he's been gone forever. Yeah, maybe I just go do just a random mission and level up some people here. It's probably the right choice, even though I do think I'd like to go get this. I just don't really feel like the veterans mission here, the medium veteran mission here, that would result in getting a bullseye bandana, even though I think it's a decent mission to go do. We just don't have a backline of level 3s. We don't have it. We have 2 that are, we do have... Karnit is incredible, right? Our Houndmaster is great, and bringing and the Cultist would be good too here, but those are only 2 backliners that are level 3. Everybody else is like level 1 or 2. We've lost everybody else. So I think I'm going to spend this time just leveling some dudes and just go do a random mission that I don't care so much about, just to get some extra money and some extra resources. As we said, we want to eventually get to a point where we can bring in a group of guys and have level 2s for bosses at, the lower tier guys that are level 4, the higher middle tier, and then eventually level 6s or whatever, but we're not there yet. I try to create like a critical mass of guys that are level 2s, like waves, like guys that are like a group of guys that are level 2, a group of guys that are level 4. That way I can like shove them out and like do boss missions and then increase my odds of success as much as possible. And we're kind of in like that lower rebuilding phase rung right now, because everybody that was level 2 now has graduated to level 3, because we had an episode where we beat, I think it was 4 bosses and 2 roaming bosses in like one day. And so now all of our guys are level 3, so they've graduated high school and now they're the freshman class in college and they're no longer special. Reading what you say here, you say, hey, AI bots nowadays can trick you a lot easier. From what I see, I would do any zone except the wheeled. Yeah. So you're saying, like, I'm assuming you're talking about the hag? Yeah, I'm just not really... Oh, are you talking about because of this item, because the Candle of Life is not great? Is that what you're saying? Or you're not talking about the hag? You said the wheeled, right? Oh, you're talking about the boss, the literal crystal guy. You're talking... Yeah. The thing from the stars. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably gonna ignore that mission right now because there's really no reason to go there. Oh, yeah, you're talking about that location because if I did this mission, I'd have to fight the thing from the stars. Yeah, I try to avoid the thing from the stars where possible unless I have guys that are level 2 as well. And that's actually a very good point here because I don't really have anybody that I want to bring there. So I'm probably locked into, I guess, the pivot, because this is a long mission. This is a long mission as well. I guess the pivot is this location because it still gives me the same item essentially and the same amount of, like, you know, it's still a lower tier mission. I mean, I could go do this mission, but I don't care about this. Activating 3 corrupted altars is okay. That's not a problem. The longevity eye patch is whatever. I don't really need a longevity eye patch because the item essentially is weaker than Barristan's head and Tough Ring as a combination on the Man-at-Arms. I just don't really need it. So I don't really care to do that mission. The only downside of this mission is it is a long mission, which would then mean that, you know, we do have to camp quite a few times or whatever. But I don't really care right now. It's not that big a deal. This is a green tier mission. It's not going to be that challenging. Let's go do this mission, even though the moon ring's kind of whatever. I mean, eventually maybe I'll be able to actually do some torchless, you know, missions where like the torch is below 25 is what I mean. We just don't have the items to do that right now. So, but yeah, we're not going to bring the flagellant if we're doing that because this mission is full of bones and you can't bleed bones. So we will bring just some randos that I think need some help that haven't really got a lot of attention. Maybe like this. Actually, probably like this. And then I need somebody that deals damage because these guys don't really deal damage right now. I mean, she can do damage, but it's probably going to be the Highwayman. It's either the Highwayman or I could literally just bring a second. I'm thinking about bringing the Grave Robbers because the Grave Robbers can move, and 2 of them is like better than a single one because then they can control like the locations of everybody very easily. But also, I don't have any Grave Robbers. We've lost all of our Grave Robbers, and getting a few of those up to the tier 2 would be nice to have them when I need them. But we have 3 Highwaymen, I believe. Is that right? Where's this? Sort by class. Sort by class. One of them's in my team, so don't forget about that whenever we do count the group that we find. We've got 2 then. We've got 2 of them. Okay, I guess we did lose one of them. So, okay. What is his level? Level 1, and then we got a level 2. We must have released one of them and I've forgotten. I've played 40 weeks of this game now, so I guess it's easy to do that eventually. Where is the sort by level? Yeah, we don't have we need to level up a Highwayman. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Level up this Highwayman, and he already has the Photomania, which is great. The downside is he has Fear of the Unholy, which is awful. That might be enough to make me not bring him. He also has the Yips. Just awful. Just awful. I don't know what to say. That's just disappointing. I mean, I guess I could bring Shield Breaker or somebody like that. Does anybody have anything that does well at this location? I guess I could look at it like that too. We did say we want to bring this Occultist because this Occultist rolled really well. Luminous and Beast Slayer is wild. It's a great combination of things. Oh, we have this level 1. Yeah, we'll just bring this level 1 Highwayman because he's a higher level. He doesn't have any of the downsides that the other one had. He's got Hot to Trot, so he's going to deal more damage. He doesn't have like the downside of having like a, I think it was Unholy, Fear of Unholy or whatever. And he can also carry us a little bit more, right? Because then we'll be more likely to get to the mission since we're bringing, this is a medium mission. In my estimation, a lot of times what I try to do is I think of it like this. If it's like a low-level mission and it's a short one, bringing all zeros is okay. But you don't bring 4 level zeros to a long mission, even if it's green, because they're going to get wiped, right? Like, or not necessarily wiped, but it's going to be very challenging, so. Yeah, I mean, I could bring the Shield Breaker. The reason I was thinking about bringing the Grave Robber is because the Grave Robber does have Blight, and Blight's good at this location, and the Grave Robber also has Unholy Hater. And I think as a combination, it's like pretty solid here. And I mean, yes, this character is generally good. Well, I mean, again, on this mission in this location, I mean, I don't necessarily think I'm going to have the same need of a tank as you might need, because on this location, I have a healer, and I also have like the ability to. I guess what you're saying is bring the Shield Breaker over the Grave Robber, and I understand where you're coming from, but I'd almost rather. Well, the funny thing is, the Shield Breaker has Spiritual, which is pretty solid in this location. The downside is that the Shield Breaker has Dark Temptation, and she's going to interact with like every single curio at this location, it seems like. Your Grave Robber's movements are too awkward. The Shieldbreaker might also do Blight and complement the Highwayman skills. Yeah, I mean, the Shieldbreaker has functionally most of the same skill set as this character. The Grave Robber and the Shieldbreaker are kind of functionally identical, right? They both have Kick to the Face and Pierce are literally the same ability. They just deal a lot of damage and ignore armor. They both apply Blight. And they both have the ability to move multiple different locations. She has the ability to block abilities. She has the ability to turn invisible, which functionally blocks them for a few turns. It's kind of a similar thing. I would say like both these classes are pretty similar. I mean, you could argue semantics, but I mean, there's at least three extremely similar things between the two. Shieldbreaker can move forward. Well, so can she. She has literally lunge. Lunge moves forward 2 slots. If what you're saying is she can't move forward from slot 2, I mean, sure. The other thing is, in terms of just raw damage, like, I don't know, like, I think this character, they're both fine. I mean, it's literally, we're talking about a semantical difference here. Like, they're both functionally similar in terms of what they do for this team. I don't know. I also have a thing to consider, which is like what items are available to me on those classes. Really, I don't know if like the Highwayman's staying. I meant to say the Grave Robber. The Grave Robber's abilities in this team comp, like she's gonna deal damage, but and I guess I could give her extra dodge, but she's gonna mostly be doing melee damage if I bring her. Let's go ahead and select the items for the Highwayman first. Highwayman, I think this version of him doesn't have. Oh no, he has ranged skills. And he can use them all from slot 2, except for point blank shot. So I guess that would then make me want to use Wicked Slice is fine, but I think I'd probably just go with like this. But I guess if I do point blank shot, then that would make sense to bring the Shieldbreaker more, because then she and him can just switch spots and they can just output an enormous amount of damage. There's an argument to be made there, which I could see. Just don't have like my Grave Robber's just not getting a lot of. I'll switch them. That's something you were wanting, and honestly, if I don't care either way, and you really want me to bring the Shieldbreaker, then sure. You say he has Shieldbreaker. Okay, he has a Torn Rotator. Yeah, for sure. Is that just raw melee? Yeah, the raw melee damage is not that big of a deal though. Minus 5% melee skill damage is not that big. I mean, sure it matters, but it's not that big. If it said minus 5% crit, then we're talking. That's a huge difference. A huge difference. I really do think that, like, comp-wise, I almost want to show you, like, I really don't think there's much of a difference between those two. I mean, I honestly think that bringing this Grave Robber, that's not even the same Grave Robber I had selected. I don't think there's much of a difference. The real difference is she's level, oh no, she's still level 0 too. I was going to say she's going to be stronger, but honestly, I think they're both, like, it's a pretty semantical difference here. I think the one thing you make an argument on is she has Spiritual, which makes her synergize really well with the Vestal, which is a far more narrow ability. And getting use out of it when you can, why not? And then I would say that the Grave Robber, the downside is the Grave Robber is good at that location. The Grave Robber's pretty solid at the ruins because, well, I mean, she's solid at a lot of locations. She's just a good flex character. But that specific character, this isn't the one. Where's she at? She's level 0. How'd she get mixed? Oh, she's up at the top because she was in my team. That's right. But she has the ability to inflict blight, and she also deals extra damage to Unholy. And she could just absolutely obliterate somebody with lunge. The downside is, well, she has Shadow Fade. She does have the ability to go towards the back. I don't know. I'm not going to think any more about it. I want to get into a game. I've been chatterboxing for a while, so let's pick some items for her. Let's get into a game here. Our main damage dealer is going to be the Highwayman, so I'm just going to give him Dismiss's Head, and then after that I'm probably going to give him something that removes stress, because he's going to take a lot of stress from that. I'll probably just give him the Solar Crown. And then after that, with this character, there's a few different choices I could have. She does have her unique items that are from this. I don't really like Shimmering Scale. I think that's kind of dorky. Like giving protection to a character that's, you know, I don't know. I guess you could make her more of a armor or a more protection-based character, but she's not a tank. I feel like I'd much rather have her dodge than have her do that. Blight skill chance is functionally irrelevant in this character. Honestly, I'd probably just give her something like maybe Surgical Gloves is decent on her. Because if she gets moved, it doesn't matter since she can just literally move herself. I think that's fair. I mean, she gets put in slot 4, we're in a little bit of trouble, but that's not a huge deal. But I think Surgical Gloves is pretty disgusting on her. Extra melee skills, extra crit, or extra accuracy, I'm going to say. Yeah, that's solid. And then after that, really, item-wise, it doesn't really matter a whole heck of a lot what I give her. I could probably just pick something like... She already has pretty high accuracy, right? This is a green tier mission. Yeah, there's no real reason to give her focus ring. She's going to hit most of her abilities anyway. I don't have anything that deals extra damage to Unholy, so that's out of the question. I could give her, like, the camouflage cloak, because she's probably going to be taking more damage since she's up front. I can be sold on that. She's already got... That's going to give her 23, so a 1 in 4 chance to dodge, assuming the opponent's accuracy is only 100%. That's pretty okay. I mean, I could see doing that. And that also keeps her from getting stunned, which is good. Yeah, that's fine. And then after that, the Vestal, of course, is just going to get, you know, something pretty basic here. Going to give her the Sacred Scroll because this is not a mission where I need to push extra healing. The 30% healing skills plus 20% stress is really unnecessary. Like, this is an incredible item. Like, one of the best healing items in the game, if not the best. Probably is the best, to be honest. But the thing about it is, really, like... I'm literally trying to mitigate stress on this freshman class because I'd like to bring them with us for other missions down the road and not be limited if she ends up like having stress. This item is not incredible. Obviously, it decreases her damage output, but she's not going to be doing damage most of the time. I'm going to switch her over to Divine Comfort anyways and have her basically be a healer class. I mean, I could also just give her Junia's Head and that item, or I could give her, like, Junia's Head and a Book of Relaxation to offset it, or a Book of Holiness, and that could be an argument. The problem is, most of her abilities, most of the time when I use her, I'm going to be using one of 3 abilities. I'll be using either Divine Grace, which I don't want to use, Divine Comfort, which is the maximum value, I think, Dazzling Light, which she's not even got unlocked, which actually Dazzling Light's pretty good, and that's why this ability feels bad, or that's why this trinket feels bad, and why people talk about it being bad. Minus 10% stun skill chance is kind of like, why? Why is that even on here? Because it's like, this item isn't that crazy. If you removed that part of it, or just remove the line that says like minus 33% damage, or dropped it down to maybe 10% or something, it wouldn't feel so punishing. But this item, it pushes heal, but at like a really high cost. Whereas Junia's Head is just like, hey, take some extra stress, I guess. So, I don't know. I could argue, I mean, you could argue just taking them both. Maybe that's worth doing. She's already going to heal so much. That just seems like unnecessary. I'll give her Junia's Head, and then I'll switch over, and I'll give her a item that removes stress, because she's not going to die. Death Blow Resist, I don't really care about that. And this just gives her more healing in general. That seems fine. Gets rid of her stress off of it and all that. Just gives her a flat 30% extra healing. You got to remember, though, I'm going to do this right now before I forget. I'm going to make sure I level up her skills related to healing then. Give her Divine Comfort then. Make sure I lock that ability. Nobody on this mission is stealth, so that's kind of useless. I don't really want to spend the money on Dazzling Light, but I'm going to do it because it's the only ability she has that I even think is even really worth having. I mean, this is really her core. As a class, you're basically using these 4 abilities. You can use Hand of Light, and you can use Mace Bash. They're okay. Same with Illumination. Illumination has a lot of utility on like the farmstead, and then at higher tiers occasionally can like reveal something, but most of the time I feel like these are like your core. Yes, you can use Mace Bash. Yes, you can use Hand of Light if your character's in slot 2. It's a weird way of playing her, but there's ways you can do it. I mean, there are items that specifically benefit her from being in slot 2, but it's just kind of weird. Looking at the rest of this though, like comp wise, I'm going to give an item to her. We lost her marbles earlier, which sucks. And we just gave her an item away to somebody that increased dodge. It might be worth actually reslotting. I might need to pick a different item because I don't have more than one Sun Cloak. What I'm thinking here is this character's not really going to be doing a lot in the way of damage. She's mostly going to be there to like decrease stress. Extra damage versus Blighted and extra crit versus Blighted is kind of funny. Actually, this is pretty solid. What am I talking about? You just flat out get +4 speed and +10 dodge. I forgot we had this item. I got it way earlier, and we just, unfortunately, we had lost our Antiquary not too far after that here. You can't use the Battle Vestal with the appropriate trinket that puts her in slot. You can't use a Battle Vestal without the appropriate trinket that puts her in. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, there's like an item that does that makes her pretty decent there. I mean, you can do it. I mean, you don't have to follow any meta. That's something we were talking about. Like, you know, honestly, I'm just playing the classes and just kind of playing what I have. I'm not necessarily like as familiar with any kind of meta, and I'm intentionally not like worried about it. She's not going to be dealing damage, so we don't care about that. The accuracy is kind of irrelevant because she's not really going to be attacking that. I mean, she will a little bit. I guess she will more than I'm giving her credit, because now that I've given her an item that, I don't know, I'd rather just double up on her dodge. I'd much rather give her, I'm going to do that. I'd much rather give her the Sun Cloak, take it off of the Shield Breaker, and have the Shield Breaker get like a Berserker Charm or something. I don't know. I'm going to give her an item right now before I have to switch back and forth between classes multiple times here. Let's just give her the Berserk Charm. And then after that, we will give, as I said, the Antiquarian here. The item that I just took out, resorted it. Oh, never mind, we're good. Okay, Camouflage Cloak. The other characters, I think I have their items selected, right? There's one character that might not have them yet. No, I did give him his items, that's right. Yeah, I think this is pretty solid. The one thing I want to make sure of is I've selected the right abilities on everybody here. For sure we're doing Invigorating Vapors. That's kind of one of the reasons I was talking about giving her extra dodge, so she just never gets hit. Nervous Stab is a okay ability if you don't have other choices here. I'd much rather... No. I don't need Fortifying Vapors. Mark target, forced guard by an ally. So make the ally get attacked instead. This could be funny if I mark the Shield Breaker and then constantly spam like Serpent Sway. That'd be funny. I guess I could do something like that. I don't really need that. I'd much rather just... I mean, we're at a low enough level right now that I can probably just get away with using abilities that deal damage. Get down's cool. It's fine. We don't need these. We don't need the minus accuracy and de-stealth stuff. That's irrelevant right now. I mean, the only these two are irrelevant right now. The only one worth even considering is Protect Me over, say, something like Nervous Stab. And the flex of having Nervous Stab is that I actually have the ability to deal damage to something if I need her to deal damage in a pinch, which we're at a low enough level that people aren't really dedicated to a role yet, and she's one of our higher leveled characters, so she can, in a pinch, take something out if I need her to, even though she's not good at it. This character, we've got Dismiss Head. I'm not going to be... I mean, I think Duelist Advance is pretty solid, because I can Duelist Advance, and then I can flip around and point-blank shot back into slot 2, and then Pistol Shot can obviously hit a backline when nobody else on the team can really hit the backline. I guess, actually, the Shield Breaker's Pierce does hit backline. It's such a weird ability that it can hit the backline like that's wild. But the one thing about this, though, is a Grape Shot okay, we're against 4 spiders. How do we get rid of these super quick? This might help us do that, so I'm kind of thinking about that specifically to take out like a quick group of people. I think this is pretty solid. Actually, I'm happy with this comp. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off here. I've already got all my items. I've already talked enough. Hey, I've been live for 2 minutes shy of an hour, and I still haven't played yet because I've been chatting. That's so funny. All right, so this is a long mission. So I've talked about this quite a bit. Usually my rule of thumb is on a short mission, I go 8 food, 8 torches, and that's just because it's a stack, not because of any, like, I don't know if there's like a meta or anything like that, but that's what I do. And then after that I increase it by like 4 for every tier, and then after that, if I don't have a dedicated healer, I'll usually bring an extra half stack of like 4. But since I have a dedicated healer, I'm not going to worry about it. So in this case, I'm just going to bring my 8 because it's a short mission, plus another 4 because it's a medium mission, and then another 4 because it's a long mission, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to say. That's a weird way of explaining it, but kind of hopefully you understand what I'm saying there. The shovels, I usually just bring a whole stack. Not on every mission, but this is a long mission, right? So I'm going to bring a full stack. Bandage-wise, I'll bring probably just like 2. The spiders and I think the occultists, like the ones that have like Ren for the old gods or whatever it's called, they can apply bleed, but they're not really that big of a deal. Like most of the time their bleed is not that substantial unless they crit, which it's not the blood that's the problem when they crit, it's the sheer amount of damage plus the bleed. But we have a healer, so I don't really care that much about that, and I can save a little money. I mean, what ends up happening a lot of times anyways, my DPI, my mouse just dropped to 0. I hit a button on my mouse. Give me my mouse back. Come on. All right, that's a little bit better. One more? All right, it's better. But I don't really think that we need more than like 2 bandages on this mission. It's not really a bleed-focused map. There doesn't happen that much. Come on, go up one more. Okay, there we go. I was hitting the wrong button. But the bandage, like 2 of them is fine because we just don't really have a a need for more than that a lot of the times in these missions. What usually is going to happen is I'm going to get bled, and then I'm going to heal the guy after the mission's over, like when the next fight starts, and just kind of offset it. Yes, bleed can be really bad. It can be really bad if it doesn't go right. But a lot of times what ends up happening is if I bring like 4 bandages, we use 2 and then throw the other 2 away. Even on longer missions, I just don't end up using it as much. I usually try to bring like 3 medicinal herbs. This mission is the only mission on the map where you like need to stock up on holy water. On a lot of missions, you can get away with bringing like none. I mean, literally stark none and be fine. But this mission, I'm gonna bring 4. It's a long mission at the ruins. There are so many, like, I'm gonna bring 5. There's a vase that you use it on. There's altars you can use it on. There's all kinds of stuff. Like, bringing like 5. This is the only mission you bring holy water on. Like, you need to bring it. I mean, not Court of Madness or whatever when you start to have the items that like give you extra bonuses for holding an item in your inventory. There's niche cases where you might try to get under my skin and argue with me about it, but really it's, I mean, whatever. 3 skeleton keys, 4 maybe. I think about the same. I usually try to map the skeleton key to the shovel slot. Like, I usually bring the same amount of both. That's just how I do it. And then after that, have you ever used a holy water on a character? I know that the holy water essentially gives enormous buffs, like enormous debuff resistances. Like, it decreases your bleed, your blight, your chance of actually being like debuffed, your chance of like, I think it's disease resist, like multiple things if I recall correctly. But what I'm saying is that lower tier missions, it doesn't matter as much. Yes, it can matter, but like what I'm saying is in the early game, a lot of time, it's just not as important. When you go up against bosses or when you start to hit like the mid game or like the late game, for sure. I know in the late game, one of the things I've kind of like, I know for sure is the case because I touched a few red tier missions years ago. I bleed is just like everywhere, it seems like. So I could definitely see using the holy water later, but just right now I just don't see a lot of use for it outside of like curio utility early. Outside of that, did we take any anti-venom? I will take a few anti-venom because just like the bandages, they're useful. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I might bring. Nah, I was thinking about bringing one more of both because of curios, but I can't really think of very many curios in this mission that interact with the anti-venom at all. And the bandage, none. I mean, there's no like spiderweb things. There's no corpses that use the bandage on, like the mummy corpse at the wield, or at the wield. There's also that like tree with like the whatever's on it. The stumps, yeah, the stumps, the wield too. Yeah, I don't really think the anti-venom's that useful here at this location here. Jen, I see you like chatting in the. Oh yeah, you said just checking if you knew. Hey, I hope I didn't come off as anything negative when I said that, buddy. No, I appreciate your comments. And earlier, like, you're pushing back on me about the shield breaker and kind of arguing with me about using the shield breaker over the grave robber. Totally fair game, man. If you have comments, I appreciate it. It's cool. But I'm actually chatting in YouTube too because I'm streaming to both here. If you hear me talk to somebody else, it's not a ghost, I promise, dude. Yeah, but yeah, your comment here, you were saying, Steven over here in YouTube, you said the stumps. Yeah, no stumps like here at this location, which I know that's not what you were saying. You were saying stumps on the wield. It kind of more to my point, you were agreeing with me. So I mean, I'm literally bringing the anti-venom specifically for spiders. I mean, really, that's the only thing here on this location that you need it for. And it's really marginal. I mean, you could probably get away with bringing none, but this is a long mission, so I'm bringing a few. Elsewise, course torches, we need 16 of those or so is usually what I'd probably bring. And then otherwise, we've got our holy water, we've got our skeleton keys, we've got our medicinal herbs. You could argue I could bring 4 of these. I mean, I wouldn't fault you for that. My problem is I sometimes forget to use medicinal herbs. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I forget to remove debuffs. That's just a personal problem. I think that's good. I don't think there's really anything else that we need to bring here. Oh no, you don't need to jump over to YouTube, buddy. You can stay on whatever's more comfortable for you. I appreciate the heck out of that. That's cool of you. I usually stream on the Blue Titan VODs channel. That's usually where I'm streaming. I'm still learning like what platform is better for what, but clearly there are people on Twitch that watch, and so I need to get used to I need to accommodate other people that are on both platforms and kind of get used to it if I'm expecting any level of reach or any level of engagement. Did I just drop out of that? Let me focus for a second. Get those items back. Good lord. Wait, that's the wrong mission. I'm glad I did that. Okay, we're on the ruins. It's the long mission. Let me get these picked before I mess up and do something insane. So we've got torches here. Yeah, I think that was it, right? These two are friends. They stay together. These two are... Dude, come on. I'm just grabbing it. This shouldn't go away. I don't need 5 keys. These are basically the same thing. We're good. This is what I had before. All right. Now I'm going to get into a mission before I mess up again, because I actually fat-fingered the back button. I think I have everything we wanted. Let's just go in. Yeah. Check their items. Their trinkets. All right. I'm going to text my dad. He just called me here. Here, real quick, guys. 1 second. All right.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
This is cool. I love it whenever, like, oh wow, what a nice scout that was. Explored 90% of rooms. I think I'm gonna go up and then right and then go up and then go left and then work my way around. I mean, it doesn't matter. Oh wow, that's really weird. That changes what I want to do now. I'm gonna go left, up. I'm gonna go left 2, up 1, left, hug the left wall, go right, and then go down 1 to the center of these 9, and then go right, then down and right. I'm gonna basically touch every single location in this map. I think I can quite literally only backtrack 1 time if I'm doing this right. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go left. That was a nice scout though. A very nice scout. All right. 50% chance, 60% chance, 90%. That sucks. I'd like to get rid of the stress, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna chance it. I don't want to take an extra amount of stress for literally no reason here.
The light, the promise of safety.
All right. Oh yeah. It's always nice whenever you get to use your keys early and kind of start getting rid of them. All right. So I'm just gonna take out. I guess I can't do that. I was gonna say I'm gonna try to hit the guy in the back. I always forget she can't reach the bad guy with a stun, which, you know, is fine. But I'm gonna try, if I can, to take out the guy in the back very quickly, because stress is really our long-term problem. We have heals for days. It's not really an issue. I will stun the... Or I won't stun anything. Never mind. No comment.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
All right, so here, I guess, Adder's... I could... See, there's a few choices here. I could either try to use our Highwayman to take out the stress guy immediately, or I could use, like, Adder's Kiss and just try to start blighting the frontline tank. The frontline tank is not trivial. He can stun our Highwayman. I'm just gonna go with what seems natural to me. Just blight up somebody here and try to take out... Yeah, so he's just dead. That's good. All right, and then after that, we will try to blight out... Well, actually, no. I'm gonna start dodging. You should always, in my mind, a lot of times, I just want to apply as much dodge as I can whenever the mission has, like, a lot of enemies. Sure.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
No problem. All right, so I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try to take this character out immediately. It's just annoying. Just finish him.
As the fiend falls,
the extra stress is just...
faint hope blossoms.
We can already see why the stress is going to be annoying, right? Like, we saw that here. If she already took an extra 20 stress, and that's just very fast to have that much stress thrown in your characters here. And I could start healing if I wanted to here. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's just heal people. There's no downside to it. Like, we're not really in any threat of taking stress, and we're just fine now. I'm doing this. I could probably just take a person out, but I'm doing that specifically to clear the body too, to make sure I have maximum reach on characters. Just take this guy out. Oh wow, left him on what? 1 health? Oh, he has a lot more health than I remembered. That's okay. Probably should have used Adder's Kiss. That's no problem though. Let's just heal again. Pretty basic. All right, let's finish that guy off. Let's advance reach to slot 3, which is so weird, but it's good to remember that.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
And then get him to 1. Okay, that's fine.
Their formation is broken.
All right.
Maintain the offensive.
The extra food's nice. It's welcome, because I mean, we only brought 4. We can just stack this really easy. All right, now we got the antiquarian with us, so don't forget we want to use the antiquarian to interact with the curios here. See what we get. The dodge stat was OP back in the day. I think they nerfed it. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. All right, so I have a few choices here. I can either go left like I was talking about doing and go up. The reason I would avoid going left is because there's a lot going on there. I have a forced fight, plus I also have an obstacle that wastes one of my shovels, but honestly, that's probably the best path. This is why I'm bringing the holy waters. These specific curios right here.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Now, in this specific case, okay, 375 as a jade. It's worth taking jades. It is. It is also worth taking emeralds and onyx, actually, though, too. The reason you... Oh, never mind. The calculations are all wrong now. Calculations are all wrong here. You don't bring that anymore. These are actually not great to bring because we have the antiquarian. The antiquarian's going to make our gold stack and stacks at 2200, 2250, or 2500, one of the two. So that completely reevaluates how we should kind of think about this, which also makes me wonder whether or not I shouldn't have brought the holy water, because I don't really care about the gems as much in this mission. If I'm not taking these, I'm never taking this for the rest of the mission, right? So the question is, do we take them? What would I take them over? Greed? I'm going to greed it. You're probably like, did you just do that? Yes, I don't care. I'm taking both. I just dropped my bandages and I dropped my my antidotes, whatever. I don't care. The bandages are fine, but I mean, I brought them like it was marginal. This is why I brought them, of course, for these guys. But whatever, we have a lot of heal. I'm not that worried about it. All right, let's just try to stun one. And then... Okay.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy
Grape shot.
them all.
And that's why we brought Grape Shot. Grape Shot is insane against those guys, so we're never...
Wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
We are not taking journal pages. As I said, I don't take journal pages unless I'm on a short mission. We just don't have the space. I'm not taking citrines because citrines are just dog water. They're awful. They're just terrible. Obviously, I'll take that. I'll take the money. And I'll leave the other two. The journal pages are for short missions. This is when you have infinite space in your inventory, like short missions. And citrines are just bad in general, especially on a mission like this where you can stack 2,200 or whatever, 2,500 gold or whatever it is, because I have the antiquarian. I would never bring the citrine in that situation. I wouldn't bring the citrine most of the time anyway. There's just no upside to citrine. I really wish they had changed this in the base game a long time ago and made it so that, like, it's a lot... You can stack citrines in stacks of 10. That wouldn't hurt anything. I think that should have been how it was from the start. Yeah, you said the same thing at the exact moment I said it. That's so funny. Like, I mean, it's delayed on the chat, but I said it in real life, and then I read your chat, and your chat came through at the very moment I said that same number. That's so funny.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Just hit the orange ones first. I assume you're talking about the spiders. I've never really thought too much about which spiders to hit first, honestly. Usually they die so quick I don't even think about it. Now this is annoying. It's gonna make me use another one immediately. Is that even worth going to? I might skip that. Making me use another shovel immediately just seems like why? And what am I getting out of it? A blank room? I'm gonna make it all the way through this entire place. I'm gonna go through darn near every single hallway. But if I go left, no, I do want to go left because this maximizes my hallway reach. If I go left here, hunger check. Yeah, I guess that's not that crazy. We've already been through, what, 4 room? Yeah, I don't know. The reason I went this way, even though it seemed like kind of an unnecessary thing to do, because I could have gone up, is because if I went left, look at the map. If I go up here twice now, and then go right, and then down one, then I can go right, then down one again, and then go right, go backtrack one time from that battle room way over on the side, then go up, left, up, and then just go that big hook looking like shape. And then I'll have minimized the amount of backtracking I've done through hallways for no reason. I did just waste a shovel, which does feel bad, admittedly. If I see an obstacle here, I'm gonna cry. Okay, cool. From experience, I've lost more characters than I care to mention to the goddamn spiders. Because they stun and they make the poison ones. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, the spiders have a tendency to, like, stun in the most weird times. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, spiders, they're no big deal. But then sometimes they're like, you're like, dude, what the heck? Like, They're not a threat most of the time, and this hits. This is the only curio in the mission that actually lets you interact with the shovel as well as the key. You could make an argument. Oh no, antiquarian. You could make an argument for just trying to open it regularly here, because this curio can just have good things in it anyway. But I'd like to get rid of my keys. I don't think I have space for sigils. I don't think I'm going to be taking these in this mission, like at all. I'm already taking 6 busts. I don't want these. We don't have the space for that stuff. This mission is a money finding mission because I'm getting ready to buy the bank. I could have gotten rid of the 2 food, but I don't want to do that. This is a long mission, and I want every slice of butter I can bring with me. Yeah, it'd be nice to go. I'm gonna peek into this hallway and just see what this curio is. Books. Get out of my face. Books are awful. Who reads? Who wants to read? Okay, ignore this egg. There's a trap. Now he has an opportunity to get rid of a little stress. And 60% chance. Do I chance it? I'm gonna do it. Got lucky. Got lucky. All right, switch back to the antiquarian here. That's like no time at all. We already got hunger checked again. This is what I mean when I say we need to keep food around. That's wild. That's a lot. That's too many hunger checks too fast. It is random, but man. All right. We might end up having to throw away one of the firewood if we see too many of those hunger checks too fast. Okay. These guys have protection, so I'm going to go ahead and focus them because she can deal max damage to them. Hate that ability. I don't care about the damage. I hate the dodge debuffs. All right, let's just try to
press this
4 damage onto them.
Give them no quarter.
All right, she can stun here and increase our torch, which is one of the reasons I'm not really too worried about constantly spamming the torch at the max. And then she's not going to kill this guy, so there's a few choices I can make here, but I'm just going to deal with damage to him, not really think too much about it. Sure. Bleed? No, just knock back. That's all right with us. Now I'll heal. It's a perfect time to heal. Because this guy's going to die and this guy's going to be stunned out for the round anyway. Let's just kill this guy off. Very straightforward. And then whoever kills him, kills him. Don't really care. Sure. Not taking the best, though.
This expedition at least promises success.
Right, we finished that stack of food, so we have temporary extra space for a bust, but we're not going to keep it. I'm probably going to drop it for food pretty soon. I might let the torch go and use it in 2 more rooms here. Interesting. I think this background curio gives buffs until camp, if I recall correctly. So, I don't know. It might be worth camping and then using it. I might do that. I don't really care to stun. Oh, well, okay. Great. Removing some stress off the 2 people who needed stress relief is nice. Love to see that. I don't think I have a meaningful way of... I'm not going to kill this guy unless I crit. Okay, dodge. That's fine. Let's just start dodging. 4 people, I usually try to spam dodge if I can. I'm gonna try to take a guy out though if I can here.
Back to the pit.
Good. A little bit of relief is nice. All right, let's see what you do. Tempting goblin on the one person who has the most stress. I really wonder if the game actually has an internal calculator for that kind of stuff.
Annihilated.
Bro. Okay. Oh my god! Did I tell you that riposte is good? Have I said that before? What in the... Dude! He's not even marked. It's just his aura. Everybody wants to fight him. What? Okay, okay. No, he misses. It's about like dunking the ball 3 times in a row and then tripping on the way back.
Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
I'm gonna... Do I drop this bust? These 4 busts? And then... No, I can go ahead and use a firewood here. Take the gold. Leave the crests.
Together, furtive and vulnerable. Rats in a maze.
I'm not gonna do more than 2. We have health. It's the stress relief I really care about. So I'm gonna focus on ways of removing stress if I can here. She has one. Do any of these people have the ability to remove nighttime ambush? He does sometimes with like this. Yes, bandit sense. Yeah. After that, it's whatever. I need to remove stress from this character. If religious minus 20% stress. This character's not religious. I don't think anyway. I don't think the shield breaker's religious. Gallows humor could be good, but it has a chance of just really punishing this character. If that's the case, I'm gonna go ahead and use... Hold on. This is a good ability. Strange Powders is wild. Reduces a random trinket. Peptox. None of these are raw stress relief. I mean, Prey is, but... How many? I have 6 here. What is this? Gallows humor costs 4. So I'm not gonna be able to use Gallows humor at all. If I'm going to, because after that, I guess I could go like chant and decrease the stress that she could be added. She's not religious. That's good to know. I didn't know that, so that answers a question I've had. And then I can use Gallows humor, and even if she does get the unfortunate roll of a 25% plus 10 stress, it's going to get decreased by to 9, hopefully. All right, that worked out very well. So, okay, we are really good there. No, we can use the Curious Incantation. I thought Trinket Scrounge cost 2 time. All right, remove stress from yourself for 4 battles. I guess we could do that. I mean, there's no downside cost to it. Sure. All right, let's rest. Now we're really good. No stress to work.
Radiance, may we find victory.
I always forget you have a guaranteed chance of having a nightmare if you have the shield, even if you
return for an encore performance.
I hate that system. I love the whole idea of her falling asleep and having nightmares. I hate that nighttime ambushes don't, like, preventing a nighttime ambush doesn't stop this. I get the flavor. I understand that she's asleep. And you know, it doesn't stop your enemies from, or whatever. I get it. It's just annoying. Here I have a few choices. I could try to stun this dude in the back because he's going to deal a decent amount of damage. But I really want to just take out this little rattler because he's really low on health. He doesn't have a lot of health. And if I can stun him, then his riposte won't even matter. Yeah, now I'm just going to kill him because the riposte doesn't trigger whenever you're on that. Yeah, this is going to suck. Yeah, she gets super focused on this. And see, now it looks like I was wrong about the her being infected and all that. So I mentioned earlier how I was like, oh, I don't really need to worry about, you know, any form of that because there's only going to be spiders that are going to blight us. Looks really bad whenever you have these nightmares. Yeah, she's being focused. She's going to die. I'm not going to be able to stop it. I mean, if she's just going to get focused like that, what can you do? Please kill this thing. He gets to go first, too. And so the repost isn't. Look at this. I'm going to have to waste time healing her now. These guys have really high blight resist. They're designed to beat this chick. I could... Nope. This... Oh, wait. He's got riposte, but he's no longer guarding this character. Bypass stealth. Just hit him. Debuff. That's fine. I don't care that you're attacking her. I need to protect the shield breaker, who's now taken 7,000 damage after being fully healthy a second ago. Brutal. Now I can't heal.
Destroyed.
All right, we got one. That's fine.
Inspiration and improvement.
I don't know what to do here. Attacking this guy. It's bad, but I mean, I want to get this guy gone. You're gonna get to attack first, and of course you attack her. The game cheeses, man. It cheeses. This is a cheese.
Vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Yeah, that's cheese. Because we were doing fine, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I used the nighttime ambush protection. I hate that system. I love the game, but I really don't like how, like, her sleep thing still it bypasses the nighttime ambush. I'm sleeping again. Not interested.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
get rid of this crap. That was crap. Does not feel good when that kind of stuff happens. All right, I guess we'll try this again. You still have the debuff, or like the thing that plus 33% stress for the entire quest. Yeah, that's because you were at Death's Door. I should be able to get rid of that, right? Oh, she doesn't have it. Dang it. Right when I needed it. Produce a random trinket. We don't care about that. Minus 50% stress. I want a gallows humor again, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to get lucky a second time here. I can't do chant though. It's just, it only removes like a little bit of stress from this one character. I don't have anybody that can remove stress from a single target besides gallows humor. That's good. Worked out well. We're going to use Bandit Sense though. I'm not going to get punched in the face by a nighttime ambush right after I got cheesed already by a mechanic that I really get salt in my mouth about. Not being able to like stop that nighttime ambush from her nightmares, I disagree entirely design-wise with that. I want to heal, but healing's not really our problem, right? Pep talk just seems so bad. It's like, okay, I guess I could heal. That's fine. That's fine. Man, that makes me bitter. I really do not like that. It's like we were doing just fine, and then we get cheesed. You can't convince me that's not cheese. I don't care. All right, so from here, I'm gonna interact with this now. There's no real special thing this thing does. I could interact with it with the antiquarian, but I don't think it drops actual items. I think this thing is just a buff, right? Yeah. Extra dodge, that's great. We need that on her because she got cheesed real hard. Cheesed. And that's with a capital C. All right, we're gonna go down here. I like how every single hallway has one battle. It's like no matter where you go, you're gonna have to fight. Supply an item, hope for more food, yeah. All right, let's walk through here. Yeah, I like the Highwayman too. Highwayman's awesome. Yeah, you're talking about way back. I didn't even see your comment there. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, you were talking earlier about when I used the grape shot and killed 3 of these guys, which hopefully we'll get the chance to do a repeat here if he doesn't get stunned out of the fight. Okay.
Be gone, fiend.
Be gone, fiend. All right, we're gonna spend some time healing here. I guess everybody does need health, so we'll use it.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
She rolled a 1 on the heal, and Junia's head shit to 2. That just feels bad. Okay. Yep, that's fine. We're just gonna heal it off. I don't really care about the damage so much.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Nice. Yep. Just gonna heal it off. That's all I'm trying to do right now. Let's heal him. He's gonna lose all that health over the next few rounds anyway, since I don't have any more of the stuff to remove it. Okay, that's enough dodges. How many dodges are you gonna get? Stop. Just kill this dude, please. Thank you.
Another one falls.
All right. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about earlier.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Taking this sapphire is fine. It's speculative. It's not really something I think we're going to be able to keep long term. We're probably not going to be able to keep it, but who knows? I'm ignoring the crest because realistically, it's just very likely that we're going to drop that. Although we are starting to get into this situation where we might not be able to even finish the mission because we're low on food because we got hunger checked twice. Again, hunger checking is another form of cheese this game sometimes throws at you. There's a lot of great things. I love this game, but like the random, sometimes the one criticism you can make of this game that sometimes is frustrating is the RNG that stacks on top of other RNG systems. So like if I get a hunger check and it rolls in the variance window on the low end and it happens after 2 rooms, the counter resets and you could roll it on the low end again, and then you could theoretically roll it on the low end. Is it low chance? Yes. But is it possible? Yes. Does it feel bad every time it happens? Yes. And that's the downside. We already got hunger checked twice, and we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rooms. That's a lot of hunger checking. That's a lot. And I know there's a way you can eventually ignore that mini game, but that doesn't make it any less cheese early game when because you can go through an entire mission, like 16 rooms or whatever, and get hunger checked once, seems like. And then other times you just get hunger checked. We had that mission yesterday when we were playing, and I think I went through 7 rooms, 8 rooms, and I got hunger checked 4 times. Are you kidding me? Like, I just completely ended the mission. I couldn't do anything. It's like, what do you do? This is an interesting choice, because again, like, the torch stack is going to be gone soon, but we're going to see more crests, right? We've already seen it. I think 16 of them. I think we saw a stack of 4, a stack of 8, a stack of 4, now another stack of 4. These other things, I don't know. I'm gonna leave them. And I could use the medicinal herbs to start getting rid of this stuff. 15% stress for the rest of the. Why plus 15% stress for the rest of the quest? What is that crap from? Is that from the nightmare? From losing the nightmare? That must be from losing in the nightmare. Man, that whole mini game. I like the storyline behind it, but my God, it's so punishing. Well, now we have to be a little bit more conservative with our torches because I had to sleep twice just to be able to offset the nighttime attack. We've pretty well avoided these guys in most of the mission. Sure. Okay. All right, here I'm going to start spamming heal because that's why she's here and that's what we need her for. All right, now I can do this a number of ways, but I think the best choice is just to try to kill this guy.
Eradicated.
He represents, I think, the most existential threat to us because he can constantly spam, like, I think he has the highest percent, I could be wrong. I think he has the highest percent chance to infect you with the Crimson Curse out of all of them, but that's what it feels like anyway.
Obliterated.
Nice job. All right, that's looking up. I like that. And then, sure, and then, oh, repose too. Oh, wow, he dodged and, oh my God. Okay, I can't complain for the rest of the mission. Did you see that? RNG giveth and RNG taketh away. What the heck? What? What?
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
What a lucky fight that was. Not only did we not get the Crimson Curse, but like where it was possible, they all dogpiled on the one guy that could deal the damage to them back, and he dodged every one of them. That was insane. We could take all these items except for the blood. I don't care about that. That was awesome. That really helped us a lot there. That was a really good sequence of events here. Now we have the space for an extra thing here. Now I don't look at the map. I don't see any obstacles. I'm gonna use one shovel. Keep one key speculatively. I don't see any more obstacles, so I'm gonna use it. I mean, whatever. Oh, select the right character. Thank you. I didn't do that just the last one, so I forfeited one item. You're right. Thank you. I was not selected on my my antiquarian, so I forfeited a little bit of treasure there on that curio, I believe. That was a good call out. Thank you. Okay, now every single crate's gonna be empty for the rest of the mission now, apparently. Now that I've properly selected my character here. I'm gonna let the torch just run out because we're gonna do a bit of backtracking here. That's great. All right, she can actually do a little bit of work on that front too. Give us a little bit of torch back. If I can just kill one of these, it'd be nice here. And then after that, if I can kill two, even better. We got one stunned. The one annoying guy who tempting goblets us, of course, goes for the one guy who has the most stress. The game, I mean, you cannot convince me the game doesn't know. But the game doesn't auto-target the person who is the most ripe for adding the most. You cannot convince me otherwise. I cannot be convinced otherwise. That is insane. Get out of here.
Executed with impunity.
I just took 32 stress because of all the cheese debuffs she had earlier. Because she has Oh, she doesn't have the item I was thinking. He has dismiss his head. But my god, that is unbelievable. There's so much extra stress for no reason. You cannot convince me the game does not actually internally calculate who's going to take the most and who has the highest percentage. Because she just jumped like doubled her stress. Absurd. All right. Sure. I might just wait a turn. He's not going to apply anything stress-wise, so no. Let's just get an extra heal in while we're here. As long as you don't crit on her, I don't really care too much. Whatever, dude. It's like everybody in my team except for the healer gets to attack, right? Get to the point here. Sure. Maybe you can remove some stress from somebody here. Nope. All right, let's get out of here. That's good though. That's what we needed. We needed her to crit. I think she has a pretty high chance of crit, which might actually help us.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Now I'm going to go ahead and take this bust, even though I doubt we'll end up keeping it, but there is a chance. Like, we are now in a position where we're low on food. We only have 8 food. We're going to get hunger checked at some point. And we'll probably get hunger checked again here soon, so... Alright. I'm not going to take a chance with her on this one, because she got a 60% chance of interacting with this. Last time we got lucky anyway. What's his stress at? 9? Yeah.
Mind that such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
You're right, dude. I'll make sure that next time I don't use my parachute that works 90% of the time. You're right. Sure. Okay, we'll start to remove some... Well, I need to heal him, if I'm being honest. I want to stun somebody, but, like, I could see this guy getting hit 6 times, and all of a sudden he's got, you know, a bunch of blight, a bunch of bleeding, and then he just dies. Ah, yes, the old focus on the guy who has a lot of stress. Makes sense to me.
Decimated.
Yeah, I mean, I literally cannot be convinced that they don't have an internal calculator that just says, okay, who has the most stress? Let's attack that guy with stress abilities. I 100% guarantee you that's how it's set up. Let's try to dodge, I guess. Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. Really nice for us. That was great. Good. Attacking somebody who's not who I... That's the first time I think I've seen that character get attacked this entire mission. I mean, literally. Oh, fantastic. The extra... Every additional amount of stress relief is great for us here, so that's good. I'm going to be greedy here and attack something that's not him, because I can take an extra second to heal. Get this guy some extra health. Yeah, we might get the Crimson Curse off of the back of this, but I don't really care that much. Uh-huh. 5 stress is nothing. Done. That's funny. All right, heal again. Let's stop off. We like that. That's fine. And then now we'll kill him. Or we'll miss, I guess.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
So a choice could be made here. I could take the crests and start taking them now. The mindset would be like drop like an emerald or whatever. The jade is already like, the jade's going to be weaker than a stack of gold, which is kind of annoying. Earlier I took the jade thinking, you know, hey, it's already stacked to 4. When the onyx stacks... Huh. This is kind of an interesting situation. We can stack gold up to 2,500, but we don't even have that much gold in the first place. I don't even know if we're ever going to get to that many stacks because this mission seems to not be giving any gold, like at all. Like, I'm just not seeing gold. I think this is all the gold we've seen the entire mission, despite the fact that, like, we've been through this many rooms, which is insane. We haven't had a lot of opportunities to use the holy water, like, at all. I think we've seen one base thing. The busts are, like, flowing, I guess, in this mission. Taking this crest is kind of like a speculation that I'm not going to be able to find any more gold. And at that point, if I did that, I'd want to drop either the emerald or the jade. The emerald has the highest ceiling, but the jade is already stacked to double the value. See, the thing about this is the jade looks better than the emerald, right? But the jade has one... The jade is... If I find one emerald, it's already worth as much as the stack of jade. One more. then my emerald stack has as much value as the jade does. Additionally, this is going to max out at 18 something, 1800. Well, if you multiply this by 10, it'd be 3,750 cut in half. Yeah, 18. Huh. It's interesting. It's a real thing to consider here. 1870, whatever, 75, whatever it is. This at the maximum will be 1875. Right now it's sitting at what? What's the math on that? 1500 exactly? Yeah, of course. It's a stack of gold in a normal mission. This one more will get us. This will get us to a stack of gold too. This will get us. These two are already, with one more found, will be as valuable as the jade and have a higher ceiling. The minor antiques are already going to have. I'm literally going to drop these 4 jade. I know that sounds wild, but I don't even care. Like the crests are more valuable long term than 1,500 gold. I don't know. I just don't know. This is the only thing to consider. Like, I'm not getting rid of the holy water because it has the highest upside, you know, throughout the rest of the mission. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Not overthink it.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Well, that looks pretty good. Now, this does change our calculations a little bit here, though, because we just found a rare antique. Now we drop the emerald and replace it with a rare antique. Because now we got 2 sapphires, which now made that worth it. So that's 2,000 gold. If we find a third one, then we're just killing it. But the portrait we're not taking. The portrait and the bust are equivalent in value here, because two portraits is the same thing as, well, 4 busts. I meant to say 2 busts is equivalent to 1 portrait. Nothing else in this really is interesting to me. You could make the argument that I could switch the emerald for the onyx here, because right now the onyx is worth a little bit more, but 1 more emerald, 1 more onyx, they're worth the same. The stacks would be worth the same if you found 1 more of either of them. I could see switching this. I'm losing 250 gold right now, but I have a higher upside ceiling, and I do still have 4 holy waters, which does represent more chance of finding better items. These 4 holy waters can be used in those vases that we saw earlier, and it could really, like, make a difference here. Drop the herbs. Oh, dude, I didn't even see I still had herbs. Thank you for saying that. I should have paid attention to that. I actually forgot what we dropped. The problem with the herbs is I don't think that they work on the rest of these characters because they have, like, whatever. But yeah, it doesn't even work. That nightmare, yeah, the herbs are useless. It's wild to me that the herbs don't even help again for the rest of the quest. The extra stress for the rest of the quest is disgusting.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Not winning that nightmare absolutely punched us in the face. Just absolutely punched us. Sure.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
It's actually kind of wild we've gone this long without seeing a single rare antique. Like, this is our second one. This far. Stop, please stop getting stressed out from nothing. Just stop. These little hallway random stress checks matter a lot more whenever your character's got 33% additional stress and got cheesed multiple times this mission. I'd love to switch items on these characters, but I'm gonna have to give something up. You know, I might just do it anyway. I can't even get rid of it. I was gonna switch items and give her the solar, like, brace, like, belt to kind of maybe mitigate a little bit more of that stress. I think, oh no, this is the one where we talked about, weird. This is the one where you can interact with the medicinal herbs. Believe it or not, I think, Steven, you're the one that told me this in one of our previous episodes here. The worry stone is irrelevant here. Portraits we aren't taking, so we're gonna take the little gold and the extra random minor antique. I'll take it. All right, we got 3 torches to get rid of the rest, or to get through the rest of this mission on. Can we do it? I think we'll be fine. Nobody's running any solar or sun items, so we're not forfeiting any additional things here. Nobody in that team really stresses, so I'm probably just gonna try to take out one of the front guys immediately because they have a little bit of protection, not a lot, but some. Good. Okay, the character who I really need to dodge, it dodged. That's good. Alright. I love grape shot. I love grape shot so much. Alright, oh yeah, and remember we can start stunning people and also help our torch. That's good. 0 damage. I don't care. The stun and the extra torch is worth it. Alright, here, I'm just gonna have her try to kill somebody. I could have her, you know, increase our dodge, but this is where I was talking about. I want her to actually help us deal some damage when we really need it. Alright, and this is where I don't like blanket fire, because once it hits once, then it hits and it hits and it hits and it hits because the debuffs stack. Alright, get rid of this guy if you can. Have somebody else kill him. He has a lot of resist. Let's heal the whole team. Good heal, good heal. Tear that guy up real quick. Good. And then now you can reach for whatever reason the far back. Oh, I thought for a second that Duelist Advance hit the back slot. No, it doesn't. That's why earlier. Believe it or not, I was saying it's weird that it can reach there. Well, it can't. It would be weird if it could reach there, but for some reason my brain thought it did for a second. All right, what do you at? He has a lot of health. 4 health. All right. Can you reach the back slot with this ability? Yes, you can. You'd love to see it. Clutch.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Here's the goal we've been looking for all mission. Not bringing the citrine, of course. I will now drop the medicinal herbs. Thanks for the call out on that earlier. That's huge. Come on. Bro. Right as soon as I use the herbs, I find another Iron Maiden. This game, man. I mean, it's confirmation bias, you know, noticing situations that feel bad and, like, pointing them out right when they happen, but still doesn't make it feel any better. Oh, yeah? There's the obstacle that I'm going to need this for. I'm going to walk in this room and see if this is anything worth looking into. I'm glad I did. Yeah, sure. Not gonna... Oh, I actually did have an extra spot for busts. Sure, that was worth a little excursion for a second there. Diversion from the main path. That was good. Oh, look. Trap. You can get some stress relief. That's good. Alright, I think we're going to be fine. We're so close to going over the edge of this guy, but I think we're going to be fine. We've made it through most of the mission, despite the game trying to stop us from doing that.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
The extra torch is real nice. I mean, real nice. Okay. That extra torch was big. It kind of helps us quite a bit, actually. We love that. Alright, Madman Boy. This is not what we want to see. Okay, sure. It's fine. We knew that was going to happen. The game knows. It knows. It focuses the person who has the most stress.
No hope in
1000% of the time it does. You cannot convince me otherwise. I'm going to stress that, or I'm going to try to just kill that guy. He has 20 dodge. I guess I should have forced, or I should have saw that coming. Actually, that's my fault. Just kill him though. We're against a boss now. The Madman's a boss. I guess I can't complain now. We got 2 attacks. We just got 2 free attacks on him, so no complaints. Never mind. I'm not irritated anymore. This guy dodging twice was insane. Absurd. All right. I guess I'll heal. Stress is no longer an issue. She's already hit the threshold, so it's kind of already happened. Let's just kill this guy if I can. Get out of here. Right. Unfortunately, we did hit the stress threshold. That's a tongue twister.
Trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
The stress threshold. But hey, look, we got our extra onyx. Not the one we wanted. Hey, look, a hunger check. That's 4 hunger checks this mission. Just so we're clear, so everybody knows. All right. Now I actually have the space to pick up any and every item that's on the map left, so that's one upside, I guess. All right. So I'm probably going to be using the light. Oh, that's a nice. This is great. This is going to give us a second to kind of refresh here. Heal everything. And I'm going to let her build up the light here. Yeah. We need a little extra light, and that'll help. Kill this one off. And then whatever happens for this last one, I don't really care. Oh yeah, she gets to still attack. Huh. What? It says I am nothing, hits for 17, removes like however much. I had my eyes were closed. I didn't even see how much stress you removed. That was insane. This is a great roll. Wow, and the 10th hour, or 11th hour, I meant to say. The 11th hour, things are working out pretty well for us and what we're finding here. This is such a great item early game. To not have it early game kind of sucked. It's such a good item on the Abomination and like the Crusader and characters like that. But this is great. Fills our bust slot. Starts another money stack, which is whatever. I guess we actually have a little bit here. Got another minor antique, which is great. And we have the slot for the warrior brace. I'm not going to return. I'm going to finish this. I only have a few more rooms left. A scout chance is also nice. All right. What do we have? No more torches, though. Gotta keep that in mind. Any additional fight moving forward is going to be a little bit more risky. That sucks, but it is okay. We are out of... Oh, we do have one more key. Heck yeah. Okay, great. All right, let's do this. This is the last real... Probably the last real fight we're gonna have. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna increase our torch here. Stun the guy that adds stress. Oh, okay. He dodged it. That's fine. Let's just try to kill him. No stress. No stress. Nice. Looks good. Oh, man, it looks nice. Sure. Dude, riposte is insane. So good. I guess deal damage to the guy that's super tanky, and this is her best. Actually, I might even just... Nah, just go raw damage to him, or miss. Does she have, like, lowered accuracy? Yeah, -5 accuracy for the quest. And that might be confirmation bias there. Like, I mean, 5 accuracy is only 5 accuracy, but it does feel like she's missed, like, 3 times. I'm gonna just kill this guy. He's got, like, no health. Just end him. That way he has no chance of hurting us next round. Yep. Health is not a problem for that character. I don't really care about that. It's the stress that's annoying. Okay, so you just stressed me. That was it. Okay, all right. No joke. I think that's the third ability she's missed in a row. It's certainly the second, but I think in the last fight, I think she missed too. Wow, didn't kill him. Yep, kill yourself. Dude is dodging everything. Die, please. Just maybe this will kill him. It only does 1, doesn't it? Oh no, 2 per round. He's dead. Great. All right, now we'll heal. Take some time off to heal the party. Yep, that's fine. It's done. Ugh. Yep. I don't really care too much. He doesn't represent any real threat to us. He's just a health battery that...
the weapon that cuts on its own.
Don't really care about him at all. That was his only ability he could do, so I just cleared a dead body, whatever. We're really, like, 0 threat here. But it would be nice to kind of heal some here, and she doesn't want to be healed. It doesn't matter. She's already got full health. It does minimally decrease the chance of a crit heal, which would remove some stress from her. She dodged that time. Nice. I think it really matters. This guy is more than dead. More than dead. All right, that's 2 act outs in 2 rounds. That one doesn't matter though. Cool. What do we get? Wow. If we get hunger check, then we can survive it. Do we care? We only have 1 room left. The Warrior's Bracer is actually worth more than either the bust or the crests in general, because it's actually an item that does something. But really, though, we're at a later stage in the game. I don't think I really care about this. I can just buy this outright if I find it in the shop. I don't care about it too much. 4 bust is worth more than 4 crests. Remember, it's a ratio of 1, 2, 3. So like 1 portrait is 2 busts, is 2 portraits, is 3 crests. That's kind of the relationship. So 4 busts is 4 busts is the equivalent of 6 crests. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. it's 1 to 2 to 4 is the ratio, right? Is that right? Because I think you can carry 3 portraits home. You can carry 6 busts and 6 deeds, and you can carry 12 crests, right? So it's a ratio of 1 to 2 to 4. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, crests are way weaker than the rest of them. You need a lot of these for it to be really worth taking any of them home. We got a lot of bust. I mean, my God, this wasn't supposed to be a bust gathering mission, but we certainly made it one. There's an argument to be made here that I could just say to heck with the holy water, which I think I'm going to do. So I mean, we're talking about how good this would have been to bring in this mission. We didn't see any use in it. I mean, at all. It feels really bad, but we didn't get the chance to use it at all. It's been wasting a slot in our entire inventory, the entire mission. Really, we should have seen, like, we just had a really bad roll. There are multiple things at this location that utilize the holy water. Between that vase we saw, the fountains, there's multiple things. We just didn't see any.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
This is the mission to gather as many heads as possible. My God. Deeds stack in stacks of 4. This is an equivalent exchange if I switched them out. Would I rather have 2 deeds or chance this next room having some more gold? What's the value of 2 deeds? I don't even really know. I've already got a lot of money as it is anyways. I might just be greedy and drop the food. Even if we get stress checked, I mean, like, does that even really matter? Does it even matter? I mean, we're not gonna get, nobody's gonna go over the edge that's not already over the edge, and we could just leave if it's a problem. I don't care. Dim light, that's funny. I love how you find minor antiques on the torch thing with her. It's so funny. We got 20 minor antiques, that's good. Let's end this strong. See if there's anything in this last room and be out of here. No hunger check is nice. And that's it. Literally just an anti-climactic ending. Yeah, okay. I mean, sure. This actually went pretty good considering, you know, how earlier we got absolutely raffle stomped. This shield breaker really hurt us a bit there. We don't have full stacks on the crest or the bust, and this stack of gold is a little bit measly. And we could have had 1,500 gold on the... we forfeited 750 gold because we speculated on taking an extra emerald, and you know, but I'm okay with that. I still think long term my decision was the right one. It just didn't work out. Yeah, this is still a solid mission, and we won. Didn't lose anybody.
The great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
The upside of what we just did too is look at all this money. I mean, that is a lot of money. I mean, I could blow through that in a minute. But that's the whole point. We want to get all this extra money really quickly so we can go buy that bank because we have the money now to buy a bank. Technically useful, but kind of weird in this class. This class is not really the class who you want to be getting hit in the first place. You'd much rather him have like extra damage, things like that, and then to give him dodge abilities or dodge trinkets. Probably. Curious is terrible. Curious is, if I remember right, I think Curious is one of the worst quirks you can get in the game. Negative quirks, because I think I read there's like a spreadsheet out there you can find that actually people math all this stuff, but I believe Curious represents a 20% chance to interact with every curio in the game. That's just terrible. I wouldn't care if it was on my antiquarian, which we talked about in a previous mission. You know, her interacting with every curio is kind of funny. I mean, I don't want it, but Cove Tactician is literally stark useless on her, so that's kind of funny. Not really good rolls on those quirks, but that's okay.
We dug for months, years, an eternity, and we were rewarded with madness.
You know, something I've not talked a lot about that I think is interesting is your characters can actually do things like this. Like Palmera had a night on the town and recovered 56 stress and stopped being selfish. Like, we don't talk about this a lot, but your characters with activities can actually, like, while relaxing, remove quirks or gain negative ones. Like, Pisvini here actually removed got the quirk Enlightened, which I actually love. He will only meditate to relieve his stress. That's great. That's not a combat quirk, so that's good. And then, you know, I think Selfish was the one that's like, what is Selfish? I don't really remember what Selfish is, but whatever, it's good that he doesn't have it, because it's, you know. selfish was like, selfish isn't a quirk. He was. Yeah, no, he was afflicted, and he had selfishness as affliction, so he's no longer afflicted by being selfish. That's what that is. Okay. All right, let's before we forget anything, let's go really quickly and buy that bank. Finally, we got the bank. 5% extra gold for the rest of the game. That's fantastic. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're really excited about that. It's all uphill from there. Or all downhill from there, I mean to say, because now we're going to be able to actually meaningfully start to, not care so much about how much money we have, and then we'll be able to actually start locking quirks, and we're going to start to claw some actual real value out of like our characters more than we were before. Now we're going to spend a lot more money moving forward, but we're going to actually be able to start seeing real meaningful gains on our characters. Let's see what we got here. Evasive is whatever, claustrophobia is bad, diurnal's bad. Steady is okay, light sensitive is bad, precise striker is good, really, really good, especially on this character. This character crits when she breathes. Everything she does crits, I think, right? Crit, crit, crit. Crit mod is lower in this one, but this also hits multiple people. It's like the reverse of what it's supposed to do. This is not a crit ability, it's more of a bleed ability. But she has the ability to crit on like multiple abilities. Precise striker is great on this character. I think Precise Striker is one of the best offensive quirks you can roll. Well, in the equivalent of it, whatever the ranged one is. It's not like Steady Eye, right? We have a... Where's my Arbalist? I know she has Natural Eye. Yeah, it's extra accuracy. That's not the same thing. Clutch Hitter? No, that's another crit one, but not the one I was looking at. But yeah, I think Precise Striker's good. Steady's okay. I mean, sure. Extra stress relief is always nice, but I mean... Oh, I'm looking at my own characters here. I'm trying to look at the new guys. Wheel Tactician is irrelevant. The Yips. The Yips, dude. They're like the hiccups. Everybody on my team has them at all times. Bastilar's mediocre. Shocker's bad. I mean, bad. Dude! Stop with the Yips! I'm telling you, I'm not making it up. I get yips and perpetually every single time I get the yips. I don't know what it is. All my characters seem to just... No. Yeah, the only character in this group that I'm even remotely interested in is the Hellion, and it's not even that exciting. Like, the Precise Striker is a nice thing to have, but it's not something like I'm excited to like pick her up for. And she's also level 0, so I'd have to invest quite a bit into her. I'm just gonna skip leveling her up this turn, or this round, or this whatever week. And I'm also going to not buy anything unless there's like an insane item, because I want to start, like, the money that I don't spend now is going to start increasing our percentage returns. So if I just spend a few weeks not spending any money, then we can actually really start to get some real money rolling. And then once we start to hit some large sums of money, then I can actually start to just throw people into the sanitarium and start locking quirks. What's this? The Necromancer. Okay, so this is the actual Necromancer. We fought against the baby version first, right? Because in this game, the way it works is, like, there are 3 tiers of every boss. Every boss has, like, 3 versions. There's the first version that has, like, adjective, noun, names, whatever. The whatever Necromancer, the extremely happy Necromancer, whatever. And then after that, then there's the Necromancer, the thing that's named just the basic thing. And then there's the extreme version of it, whatever the heck that's called. So this is the second version of him. And remember, when we go fight against the Necromancer, the main thing to remember against him is, like, the first few rounds, you actually have quite a bit of time to use, like, fight-wide buffs. Like, so the perfect team to bring against the Necromancer is a group of people who, like, have a ability that buffs them for the entire fight, like the Highwaymen, because round 1 is a freebie. Nothing happens the whole first round. So you spam things that give you extra buffs for the rest of the fight, and then for the rest of the fight, you just abuse the fact that you had a whole first round free. Because he does nothing but except summon something round 1. There's really no reason not to do that. But we're not fighting him right now. As I said, if we go fight anything, we're going to go fight against the Indolent Flesh. I actually think, I've been thinking about this item, the Fortifying Garlic. I actually think it's kind of alright. 33% Blight Resist, 33% Bleed Resist, 33% Disease Resist. I actually don't think that's a terrible item. I don't think it's good. But I think, like, Blight Resist and Bleed Resist is actually kind of funny if you think about it on a character. Like, if I were to throw that on, like, the Man at Arms, right? And then give him... like Barristan's head, then this dude is like a giant tank that just can't be bled, he can't be blighted, and he can't be broken like his armor. So actually, like that sounds like I think I said something about that earlier. Can't be blighted, can't be bled, and can't be broken. The alliteration, the way it sounds, especially with the word broken at the end, almost sounds like some kind of like a sigil or like a house like quote that you'd have in like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. Can't be blighted, can't be bent, and can't be broken. That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this item's terrible. Weirdly enough, there's another item that does a very similar thing to this, but it gives 40% of each of them, and then it has like a minus 10% chance to apply those things as well. It's such a weirdly similar item. I thought it was odd that they actually have two of them. But I don't think this item's that bad. Maybe the reason they did that was because the designer of the game wanted to have this item seated in the list of items and give you a chance to find it, so that he probably, or whoever it was that made this game, really felt like it was necessary to have this item, and adding two variations of the same thing guaranteed that it was a higher percentage chance you would find it in the leveled lists, or the random lists out there of enemies you fight against. But yeah, as far as like missions are concerned, what is this? Plus 15% to all healing skills? I've never even heard of this item. Huh. A weaker healer buff item that has no downsides. Huh, okay. Not a bad item. Solid. I mean, it's like this, you know how it has no downsides, but because it has no downsides, its upside is kind of, I mean, you'd have to heal for 20 for it to go to 23. Is that good? Nah. That isn't that good. It's good on the occultist. Yeah, but you're basically saying, here's a character that can heal for 15 randomly, and we're going to make it already better. The problem with the occultist is that a lot of the times, extra healing on the character is not good, because he already heals for such an absurd amount. It's really like, what would be better on the occultist if it existed would be to decrease or to increase the minimal range on what he can heal for, right? To make it so he wasn't healing from 0 to 15, but instead healing from 3 to 15 and something like that. That would be better. Or I wonder if there's a way, I know you can give your teammates like Clotter and decrease the chance that they get bled by the weird reconstruction, but it'd be interesting if there was some ability that like, or some item. I'm surprised there's not an item for the occultist that literally removes the weird construction's ability to bleed somebody. I mean, it seems like it might be like an ish okay item, because you wouldn't want it to just like completely remove that mini game. But I don't know, maybe something that was like increases or decreases the chance that he can, or removes the ability to bleed on weird reconstruction, but increases his debuff chance as well. That way you're not just stacking everything on the heal and making it all just make his heal just as good as possible. But yeah, I'm not really excited about this kind of an item on anybody. Like I think items that just increase healing skills raw are best on characters like the Vestal, who can spam heals on everyone. I'm just not that excited at the prospect of increasing a character whose heal range is already insane to slightly more insane, right? Because if he heals for 30, now he's healing for 33, right? I guess it's 34.5. Round up to 30. Is it good? I guess. I think it'd probably be better instead to run with some item that gives him more dodge or something. We already got that Book of Unholiness. We got 2 of those, I think. The Seer Stone, plus 50% scouting chance. I would like to get this item. I'm gonna go for this. Unless there's something else even better. Plus 25% damage versus the Fanatic. Yeah, the Pagan Talisman is an item I'd like to get at some point. We haven't even seen the Fanatic, luckily, because I've been very aggressively not bringing 2 people with the Crimson Curse. I've also just been calling people who had the Crimson Curse and going out of my way to avoid that for a while. I have brought some people with me who had it intentionally, because when I do bring them, I try to bring them to the Crimson Courtyard. But this item's cool, but haven't really had any need for this. This isn't one of those items that you get and then later on you start trying to kill the Fanatic. But the one downside about the Fanatic is the Crimson Courtyard. If you beat the Crimson Courtyard, anything related to the Fanatic and all those other things go away. Because I think if you beat the Crimson Courtyard, I don't know this, I would venture a guess that if you beat the Crimson Courtyard, you probably have some meaningful way of stopping the Crimson Curse entirely. And if that happens, then the Fanatic wouldn't even spawn anymore. So it seems like one of those bosses that actually has a timer on him. Like, you have to beat him at some point. If you want to ever beat him, you got to beat him before you get to the end game, I'm guessing. I don't know, actually. All right, Ancestors, Vintage, all these Crimson Curse related items here. The only item in this list that I'm excited about, like I would like, oh, another one, look, another Crimson Curse. Immune to death by the Crimson Curse. Delays the Crimson Curse craving. Kill the guy who hates you for having the Crimson Curse. Any other ones? No, but like some of the higher tier, all the higher tier things are that. They're all Crimson Curse related. That's so funny. The only thing in this list, I mean, I do like the Fortifying Garlic. I think it's cool. But like, I'm not like, I need that item. And I also, as I said, I don't have very many people that are level 2. And I need to get a few more guys level 2 before we go fight against Indolent Flesh. I just don't see any reason ever to go fight against a boss when you don't have to. We've done that in the past, right? We went and we fought against, I think it was the Sonorous Prophet. That's the one that really scarred us. We lost 3 dudes because I got hyphy. I got excited. I was like, I can do this. I brought 2 guys that were, I think 2 guys that are level 1, 2 guys that are level 0, and we got wiped. I mean, we survived. We somehow won with 1 guy, but we didn't deserve it. We got lucky. So I'm going to try to get my guys level 2 before I go do that, which then means it's pretty obvious to leave these characters out and not use stress relief on them and then have them go there next week. YouTube just like blinked and did some weird crap. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, Prescott can come if I want to bring her. I probably will bring her. And then I'll bring... I can bring Marisco. If I bring her, I need to bring somebody that has stress relief. I don't really have anybody that does that. I'll probably get rid of her. And then I'll bring some people that are level 1 that can actually like handle a long mission. Botan would be one for sure. Montague would be good. Montague's level 2. And if I do bring her, she's going to level up. I don't want to do that. The reason I don't want to do that is because I want to... Actually, I'm not going to bring Montague against the Indolent Flesh at all, though. She doesn't have any bleed. Yes, this is okay to over-level this character and take her to level 3. I'm fine with that. I'd like to get somebody who's like a... Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring... Man, he locked Nervous Bleeder? Would you stop locking bad quirks, dude? All of these are bad quirks. Nervous Bleeder's bad. Guilty Conscience is bad. Paranormania is bad. War of the Light's good. Unholy Hater's okay. I'm probably seriously going to end up dropping this character. I am not going to spend a bunch of money to remove 3 bad quirks when he has only Warrior of the Light that's worth talking about. Just not going to do it. I could bring, like, this guy. The reason I was thinking about bringing... What does Drew have? He has Ashen, which is terrible. He has Clodder, which is incredible. And Kleptomaniac. I don't want to bring this guy right now. I don't want to take a chance that he locks one of these bad quirks. I want to at least have one decent Flagellant that's not rolling around bad quirks here. Let's just... Eldritch Slayer, Plutomania, Manic for Money Witness. It's pretty bad here. Especially if I'm going to... Oh, I don't have any Aquarian with us. Never mind. I could just bring this guy and say the heck with it. Unholy Hater. This is the best location for... Actually, no, that's bad, right? Because this location is... Yeah, they don't get bled. Yeah, he just has bad quirks. And really, these are all terrible. War of the Light's the only thing I'm keeping him around for. He'll probably get dropped. Let's just be honest here. I do like the Grave Robber here. This is kind of funny. Necromania is terrible. Stress Eater's not good, but not terrible. Witness is fine. We have no problem with Necromania is bad. What I need to do is pick a person who... Winded is incredible. Quick Reflex is incredible. Unerring is literally irrelevant on her. Bad Healing is fine because she doesn't really heal. I mean, she has Adrenaline Rush, but it heals for 1. What are you going to do? Round down to 1 to 0? I mean, I don't think you can do that. If you can, that'd be terrible because that would stop her from surviving on Death's Door, but... I really need a slot. I can have him be here, but I was kind of hoping to get a slot too. It's probably going to be somebody like... He has Deviant Tastes. I don't want Automatonophobia, and I don't want Compulsive. I want to lock Enlightened Deviant Tastes. There's a lot of characters here you're seeing that have abilities and quirks that I like, and I don't want to bring them because I don't want to take a chance that they lock a bad quirk. So I guess the mindset is there anybody that's locked a quirk I hate that I'm going to get rid of and I can just bring them and not worry about it? Clutch Hitters. This is the spot is terrible. I guess I could just bring Scouting again. Scouting. I guess I could just bring an Antiquarian. This is almost the same comp as last time. Actually, this is the same comp as last time, isn't it? Is this literally the same comp I had last time? Just different people, but the same comp? That is. Literally the same comp. That's funny. Ruminators, not good. Perfectionists, whatever. Paranormal Mania sucks. Known cheat is fine. I have no problem with that at all. If she doesn't like Paranormal Mania, she could quite literally be a good character to keep around, because Perfectionist is a no. She's not good either. But she's level 2. Evasive is okay. It's cute. I mean, Deadly's solid. I mean, they're okay. I'm gonna bring this character because she's level 2. She's gonna help our team get through this mission. Right? She just helps us win. Although it is a medium mission, I might not even need that much extra oomph. I might not need that strength. I could theoretically just bring somebody like, you know, the Grave Robber. I've been wanting to level her because she has Ruins Adventure. This is the best place to bring her. Necromania is obviously terrible. Stress Eaters. Witness is great. We can lock Witness is great, but I just keep getting people with Necromania. It's like everybody wants to lock. It's like, wow. What are the odds? How many people can you have on your team that like playing with dead bodies? I mean, come on. Good lord. Light sensitive is awful. Man-at-Arms might be a better choice than her. Risk Taker's incredible. We love that. Light sensitive is bad. I want to lock that, but I need to start leveling one of these guys. They're both level 0. Clotter's good. Let's take this guy with us, because if we lock Risk Taker, then we got a really good guy for future levels. I'm really not. I'm really just sitting here trying to figure out. I guess I could bring the Occultist, because the Occultist has really good abilities here. The Willphobe I don't want, but no, I don't want to take a chance that he locks Willphobe, because I really, really, really want to lock these 2 Quirks. These Quirks are incredible. Let's just bring who we have. All right, I'm gonna go for this mission because I want to get the Seer Stone. Extra 15% scouting chance. I really am like impressed by how scouting works in this game. I think that's gonna be incredible for us. So, I'm actually gonna stop for this recording. I'm going to take a half an hour break. I'm going to go grab some food, just get out of the house, move around for a little bit, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to continue to play. And I probably will play for another like 3 hours after this, to be completely honest. So that's going to be it for this recording, but it's not the end of the day. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to be playing most of the weekend. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm just going to pause it essentially right here, and then I will immediately pick back up in, like I said, about a half an hour. So I don't know if I'm going to end up uploading this video, because this video didn't really have, so far, anything major in terms of, like, milestones, right? We haven't beat any bosses, we haven't done anything like that, but I'm still going to give an outro. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I appreciate your time again, and if you like this content, please head over to the Blue Titan Gaming and watch those videos, and, you know, you can see the shorter hand, like, faster-paced, edited content. If you want to see longer-form content like this, or videos where I talk at length and I just jabber for a while, you can go over to the Blue Titan Gaming VODs and see more content like that. But until next time, I appreciate your time, and I'm the Blue Titan. See you later. Bye.